The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Great Friday, June 20th, 2025. This program begins now. Sports are happening, and the reason why this is a Feel Great Friday, not just a Feel Good Friday, is because the Indiana Pacers, in a dominant fashion last evening, have forced a Game 7 in the NBA Finals against the number 1 overall seed, Oklahoma City Thunder. Last night, Game 6 in Indianapolis, Indiana, was electrifying. We were lucky enough to be in the building. A lot of records have taken place with this Indiana Pacer team. A lot of times they were counted out, pushed aside, said it was over. This team ain't trash. They actually have the most overrated player in the NBA, voted on by his peers, leading this bunch, who gritted his ass through a calf and an ankle injury last night. Didn't even have to play the final quarter of the game because of that big of an ass beating was taking place. Foxy, show the play. Show the play. Show the play. Lucky to be in the building when Tyrese gets a steal. Give me that. In the pink Hallie ones, the Puma Beauty gets shoved. Been happening all series. They let him play last night. I'm not judging it. How about the no-look deal to the All-Star, Pascal Siakam? Hey, poster in Indiana. That place went ape shit. That place was electrifying. This place last night was celebrating an incredible Indiana Pacers season, knowing it was going to be the last home game regardless of the outcome. And what the Pacers did was show up for us in a massive way. Game 7 obviously taking place for the first time, long time in the NBA Finals. And our city is getting a chance to experience it all. We know in Oklahoma City on Sunday, it is going to be a wild atmosphere. We know them smackers and taggers are going to be out in a big way. We know the Oklahoma City fan base is going to fuel the Thunder as much as hopefully the Indianapolis folks fueled the Indiana Pacers last night. And we know that a Game 7 is always going to be must watch. We are so incredibly proud of the boys. We are so incredibly pumped for the boys. And we know that Game 7 in Oklahoma City at 8 o'clock on Sunday on ABC is going to be something that's talked about forever. Good luck to all the boys.
Good luck, boys.
Shepard hits the buzzer beating at the end of the third quarter 3. Gets it off perfectly, swishes that thing, turns around in the center of the court with one of these. Roof blown off. It was like last night watching that particular game was pure euphoria. It was great to see the boys come out in dominating fashion, and it was great to see them respond when everybody thought it was over. The Indiana Pacers in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, more specifically, their employees, security, arena,
Sure.
PR, marketing, basically all the different departments. They had to rehearse the Larry O'Brien ceremony on the court yesterday, the night before, 4 hours, 5 hours, how the ceremony is going to go, you know, where the lighting is, where the camera goes, where Larry O'Brien goes, where the Oklahoma City Thunder will go. Let's practice. Let's get the Oklahoma City Thunder colored confetti. And they had to go through the entire Pacers building, basically.
Visitors locker room.
Had to go through it all. You have to go to the whole thing, like numerous times. And you could sense that it was like, this is not how this cannot be how this season ends. And Tyrese Haliburton, Neesmith, great shooter. Started out a little rough, great shooter. Nembhard, big-time shots. Pascal obviously doing his thing. And then whenever you think about Obi Toppin going for 20-plus off the bench, and when you think about this bench, you can't help but say T.J. McConnell. Absolute Dog from Pittsburgh. We got a chance to meet his dad last night on the post-game interviews. He said he's incredibly proud. You know, he's got a daughter in WNBA, got a son in the NBA, and on Sunday I'm going to Oklahoma City to watch my son play for a world championship. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's just been also like authentic out of this Pacers team. Every answer Tyrese gives, it's not like a canned answer. Hey, do you try to stay off social media? I try, I try my best. Every once in a while I got to catch up with what's going on in WWE, so I'll hop on X real quick, see some stuff, got to get out of there, trying to isolate myself. I see obviously what's said about me on ESPN. He's told us that in between series, maybe he'll get back on social media whenever it's series times. He gets off of there because he doesn't need to get flooded with any type of doubt or thoughts from anybody else. And it's like, this team is very easy to root for. This team is a team that you can like. And Oklahoma City's the same way. I'm not saying that they are not. But this finals, showcasing two cities that have really shown up, in two states and fan bases that are yearning for a title, showing up in a big way, going to 7 games, it's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. Congratulations to the NBA. Talks to Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Con, man, we were in there last night. It was awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable. One of the best environments I've ever been in. I said that about games 3 and 4 last night. Would definitely surpass all of that. The Siakam play, you mentioned, when we rewatched it back after the fact, it looked even more electric on the broadcast, which was very exciting to see. It's incredible how well the team just answers. TJ McConnell's dad also said, at Game 7, anything can happen. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Haliburton goes down, Siakam. I mean, he had the slam, which was filthy. I forget what song was put over that, but it looked and sounded immaculate. But him going off for 33, the bench doing what they did. Tyrese Haliburton, his over-under last night was 13.5 points. He scored 14, so way to hit that over, Tyrese. But if you were to tell me, hey, Tyrese Haliburton was going to have 14 points, 5 assists, and a rebound in Game 6, I would be a little bit worried. And then you look at what everyone else did. Everybody stepped up. Mostly everybody stepped up. Tony Bradley came in.
TB13.
TB13. He had some big minutes for the boys. Kind of got everybody going. Played a little, tough defense. We've been Tony Bradley guys since day one. And the finisher, if you will. We might.
Yeah, he is the finisher.
Yeah, James Johnson coming in, and it wasn't the loudest pop of the night because of that Siakam dunk. But when he comes in with 2:30 left on the clock, people go ballistic. And they don't go ballistic because, James Johnson, some dumb minutes. They come in because he's setting the tone for Game 7. He's not coming in just to get in and say that he played in the NBA Finals. He's coming in to send a message to the OKC bench. He's barking right there to them, letting them know, hey, we're not screwing around. He's crashing the boards, even though he knows that's going in. Good, nice little elbow. Maybe even a Udonis Haslem locker room right
Shout out
hook.
to the officials ejecting him so he gets 2 ovations.
Yep.
Played for 2 minutes, 1 ejection, 2 ovations, and the JJ legacy will continue to only build here in Indianapolis, Indiana. He was brought to the team to protect the young boys. Like, that is literally what he was brought to the team to do. And the way he leads, everybody sees it, everybody loves him, and he'll come in and put some, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Some of those. There was one time he had, I think he still had some beads.
He had a couple bracelets on, yeah.
Couple bracelets on, came in, had to do his
chain, yeah.
Knock down a shot, does his thing. It's like you really experience and feel the team's culture in this entire thing. Had a lot of people traveling in for the game. Justin Jefferson was in town last night. He was, we saw him as we were entering the building. Say he just wanted to experience finals atmosphere. It was like, thanks for coming, Justin Jefferson to the city. I assume last night was electric for him. The city was alive after a big time win. Also, Jet Passon was there last night. Got a chance to see Jeff Passon. He brought his boy and one of his boy's friends over here from St. Louis, right? Where does he live?
Kansas City, I believe.
Kansas City, okay, Missouri. Yeah,
Yep.
He's left on the map from us.
Correct.
I don't think that far. I think it was a doable drive. It was
He looked good.
He did look good.
Yeah, good fit.
He had like thong toe sandals on.
Sure. He had the deep V-neck. I do know that.
Yeah, deep V-neck and cargo shorts. Sure. Hair looked immaculate.
Always does.
And just kind of just living, just doing it.
You look like a billionaire tech guy. Like if you were to imagine what like Zuckerberg looked like when Facebook had 1 million.
Yeah, who has a surfboard?
Exactly.
Shot Steve down there in Outer Banks. From
the OBX.
Yeah. Steve T down there, Outer Banks sends me this surfboard right here. I was on it trying to find some barrels, a little bit earlier. That's some fine wood right there. That is some fine wood.
Great craftsmanship.
It is. Have you got a chance to feel this thing?
No, I haven't.
Real deal, brother.
It looks like it.
Steve lives in OBX?
I believe he lives OBX. He supplies everybody in OBX with surfboards.
Okay.
I believe he is the OBX lifestyle.
Yeah,
he's a pogue.
He's a pogue, yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
From the Outer Banks show, they call themselves pogues.
So Steve might be pogue then. Yeah,
You want to be that, yes.
Well, if that's what you want to be, I think Steve is that. And shout out to Steve doing that. But nonetheless, last night, electric. TJ McConnell takes over. James Johnson comes in, gets a big-time pop. It felt like everybody in there believed in the Indiana Pacers. I think some people, after Game 5, were a little bit worried.
Sure.
Especially with Tyrese potentially being game-time decision. It's like if Tyrese is not going to play, then we're kind of, we are Dahn. The entire thing.
The moment.
The guy. And then as the day rolls on, it's like Shams is like, he's playing. And then Udonis has them. Yesterday, as we were talking to him, just at about, 2:05 or whatever, he goes, it just hit me. Tyrese is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, who told you that? He goes, nah, I just think he's going to be okay. And I'm like, what do you mean you think he's going to be okay? He's like, we would already know if he wasn't going to be okay, is basically what UD was saying. Sean, somebody would already know if he wasn't going to be okay because they'd be trying to set expectation levels maybe for fans. And the other team's already preparing for him and for him not to be there. So it's like, and UD was like, he's going to be fine. And then as it rolls on, it's like, wait a minute. If Tyrese is playing, that's a big pick-me-up for everybody in the city, not just on the team, but in the building. And then if they're able to get a lead like they against Game 6 against the Denver Nuggets, where they kind of, what you called expertly yesterday, you said, hey, Oklahoma City, these Game 6s just kind of relax. Game 6s for the Indiana Pacers have been very, very good for the Indiana Pacers. So it's like, it was a dominating win. Tyrese got the rest. Tyrese got the play. Everybody else showed up in a big way. It's like when they needed it most, crunch time, somebody else is about to have the confetti fall in their faces on your floor. And your entire organization has had to walk through the other team's championship ceremony a couple times. It's like, I love the fact that they all bought in and said, I don't think so. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP tone. The underdog mentality for this Pacers team throughout the entire postseason has been great for them.
I mean, entire postseason, they've been more than 5-point dogs basically every single series, especially on the road. At home this series, obviously, against OKC, they've been legendary underdogs and taking it to 7. So, yeah, the mentality of the underdogs has been great for them. But as far as last night, like on the broadcast, and they couldn't have stressed this enough, the Pacers only had 11 turnovers last night. They had 23 the game before that. Like, if OKC isn't getting turnovers, like, that's basically their whole game. And then this whole series, it's been like, who besides the stars is going to show up? Last night, it was the Pacers role players who showed up. None of the OKC role players showed up at all. Their third highest score behind SGA and Jalen Williams only had 11. So it's like, who else is going to score in this series? And then the Pacers were the ones who were playing defense last night. They were getting it after it. They were out running. And they looked like OKC on defense last night, honestly.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching this Pacers team play. Like, it was just good basketball.
Yes.
Like, the way it was just, like, methodical ass beating by the Indiana Pacers last night. And anytime we needed a shot to put a fire out, we did. And it's like there was I think it was 28 points or something like that with like 10 minutes left. And it was like, can't give up a 28-point lead, right? And everybody in the building is like, no. And they sub out their starters. And then the thought is like, well, the backup guys are going to try hard. And then we got our backup guys. And you start seeing that like lead disappear. And I'm like, still in there. I'm like, no. This cannot be how this goes. And then the Pacers bench just answered. Furphy was in there. Like we're talking about just answering out there. It was a great battle, man. And the fact that the NBA has a 7-game series in the finals, what a win for basketball, for sports as a whole.
Well, and that's what's so ironic because everyone wants to talk about the ratings and how it's two small market teams and does the NBA have a problem because still no one's like, I guess casual fans, like super casual fans, maybe aren't watching it. But for a guy like me who loved the NBA, but in like years past not having an actual team, my interests in the finals have kind of waned a little bit just because it's such a long process. Like, this is arguably the best finals series since like 2016. Like this, the basketball. So for everyone to say, hey, no one's watching it, this has been one of the most entertaining finals of all time. Like, it just every single night, it's almost a guarantee. Maybe with, a couple of those games late, it kind of got out of hand. But for the most part, for 48 minutes, like, you are going to be entertained by both sides. Like, and it just, You're right. I mean, the NBA, it'd be nice if more people were watching it because this has been a hell of a series, but it's unbelievable that we're getting a Game 7.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who picked the Oklahoma City Thunder to win last night. No horse in a race, he says. Played 13 years in the NBA. He's the co-host of the Knuckleheads podcast, friend of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, Q Rich.
Yeah, Q Rich.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Probably not as good as you fellas, but I'm doing good, man. I enjoyed the game last night. Obviously it was a blowout, but
Oh, no. Cat got his tongue.
Coach Dags.
That could be Coach Dags saying, hey, you cut out right there. We lost you completely.
Oh, my bad. I said no. I enjoyed the game. I mean, it ended up being a blowout, so it was a little less enjoyable on that end. But the fact that we get a Game 7, I'm super hyped about it, man. We got more basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. More basketball is great for the NBA. I think it's great for sports media as a whole, especially with the way these games have gone. Ty just kind of mentioned it there. The style of play that is being played. I mean, there is great basketball happening by, one of the teams, I guess, both of the teams in most of the games, last night being a blowout and everything like that. But it's like the atmospheres have been electric. The basketball has been fantastic. For Game 7, all anybody has said is it could be anybody's game. TJ McConnell's dad say, hey, ain't think happy.
Yeah.
It's Game 7. I mean, that is very true. What are your thoughts on going into a Game 7 if you're the home team? And what are your thoughts on going into a Game 7 if you're an away team? The Pacers went into New York, Madison Square Garden, Game 7 last year. Did some gardening. They have some experience going into another building and winning. But in this case, what is your thoughts on both teams' perspectives of a Game 7 in Oklahoma City?
I mean, I agree. I agree with TJ's dad. Anything can happen in this Game 7. This is why if you was in OKC's situation, you wanted to try and end it last night, but clearly that didn't happen. But I mean, if you OKC, you do feel. I mean, they got to feel some comfort going back to their home court where they play really well. They bounce back from games they lose really well. They got all of those things. But to me, Game 7s, man, you throw all of the narratives out, and that was just it's one game, man. It's who feels good that day, who's in a rhythm, all of these different things, all of these different reasons can go into it, and you never know what's going to happen. It's all about one single solitary game. And so now it's come down to that. And as a fan, like we say in basketball, as a fan, those are the best two words in basketball, Game 7. So this is what you want. This is you getting it to take it the distance, the furthest it can in this series, and we get to watch as much basketball as possible. Because after this is it for a minute. For the draft next week, we got to kind of wait the summer league, and that's a bummer for me.
Yeah, it's a bummer for you. It's also a bummer for a lot of us. Yeah, the NHL 6 games. Okay.
Yeah.
Could have been cool, have another one, but congrats to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Congrats to the Panthers. Down there in Florida, Hockey State. And this now Game 7, obviously, and anything can happen. It's one game. Who shows up that night? What do you think Coach Carlisle and Dags are thinking? Is this simplify offense for a Game 7, or are they throwing their best shit here? Is this a chance that there is a master class that could be had by one of these coaches that can maybe, win them the game? Or do we just expect them to kind of treat this as if it's any other game?
Man, I'm like UD. You never know what Tricky Ricky thinking over there. What he gonna do? He's a mad scientist over there. So I mean, he's got a lot of experience. He's been in a lot of different situations. I feel like Coach Dagnall is a great coach, and he's doing a great job too. But I don't know, man. I don't know if these guys stick to the script. I mean, I think for OKC it's kind of easier to stick to the script because you got your lead man, and he's the MVP, and he's always kind of had that position with that team. So for me, it'll be interesting to see. Like you said, you guys talked about the others playing well and TJ McConnell getting instantly in the game and going crazy the way he did. Will he be able to have that type of impact, or will it be an OKC player doing that? Man, it's going to be crazy to see all this play out now.
I wonder who Rick Carlisle is going to,
Yeah,
there is going to be, because Nembhard last night hit some massive shots.
Yep.
We've seen Neesmith whenever he's been called upon, massive shots. Shepard was knocking down massive shots yesterday. It's like everybody, Pascal, obviously, for the first quarter, it's like, hey, we got a Pascal show where he's going to deliver. It's like every guy on that team can get it. Miles Turner still.
Yeah.
He has yet to play anywhere near his best offensive basketball, and it's going to a Game 7. So, like, think about that. If Miles can get hot, which he certainly can. Just a couple. all he needs is to see one go in.
That's it.
He had a foul shot last night early. I think, Tyrese did. I think Miles did too. They had a foul shot go in early, and I'm like, here we go. Take the bucket off. Take the top off this entire thing. Miles just needs to see a couple fall, I think, and then we'll see how it goes. Now, there are a couple stats that are telling a story. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Q, last night, Pacers only turned the ball over 11 times. I think it was 20. God.
Choked up about it.
Yeah,
Game 7.
Game 7.
Look at the hats right there on your head.
Game 7.
Shout out Moose.
Choked on a jelly bean. That's on me. 11 turnovers for the Pacers last night, 23 for OKC. The team that has turned over the ball less has won 5 of the 6 games. Only game 1 was different, and that was the Pacers' comeback. So, like, when it comes to turnovers, like in the NFL, there's quarterbacks that just throw interceptions. That's what they do. In the NBA, is it like teams are gonna, like, there's teams that are just gonna commit turnovers, or is it like a mindset going into Game 7, like, hey, we need to protect the ball, or what's the mindset going into Game 7?
Yeah, talk to us football doofuses on this.
No, obviously, after you have a game where you have a high turnover game, that's something that you focus in on when you're talking game plan, when you in walkthroughs and different things like that. So I think they'll be more focused on, taking care of the ball, because I did feel like they were very loose with the ball yesterday, and that turned into, an avalanche of problems for them. But yeah, back and forth, each team. I felt like that Indiana's defensive pressure and the way they were all over the place, they created those turnovers. It's not like, I did feel like OKC was lackadaisical on some of the passes, but without those guys being ultra aggressive and being in passing lanes and shooting gaps and doing things like that, they still don't get those steals and create those opportunities they create. They were first to the floor, and a lot of times to get on the ground to get to the ball, all the little 50-50 balls Indy was getting. So they got to change. That's what OKC has to change. And when they get in their building, they got to make sure that they try and get and create those same type of situations for themselves.
I love whenever we were defensively, the Pacers were locking it down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were trapping a lot. It was good defense. They ran a whole highlight during the TV copy, I guess, of the Pacers D and the Pacers pace, I do believe.
Yep.
And it's like every once in a while, the Pacers either fall into a good situation with how the other team's playing, or they just decide that they're going to lock down, and they will. Like the Pacers, everybody's talking about Oklahoma City coming into the series. They're the best defense in all of the NBA and everything like that. It's like I feel like the Pacers and Coach Carlisle have felt challenged in that aspect in this particular series. And there's been a couple times where they've ratcheted it up on the defensive side. I assume Game 7 going to be tight, right? Do we think that's going to be a little bit tighter than usual? I wonder what Game 7 stats say. Is that more of a cagey affair, or is that wide open, you think?
I think it's wide open. I expect this game to be a down to the wire game, hopefully. But like I say, man, this is anything could happen. You never know. It could go either way. It could be big. It could be a big blowout, or it could be a close game. I'm hoping it's a down to the wire game, and we get a real, a real Game 7 epic moment at the end from one of the teams.
The Pacers enjoyed a blowout last night. There are some things that come alongside that. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Q Rich, fourth quarter, no starters playing for OKC. I know Haliburton didn't play in the fourth. I think Siakam played, 2-3 minutes as well. Does that time at the end of the game matter? Today people are saying, Tyrese didn't have to play the fourth, so he'll be a little more rested up. Is that real? Same with OKC. Do players kind of get that almost transition over to, getting ready for Game 7 or things like that while the game's still going on? Because it feels as though that might not be something, but if they're already on the sideline kind of talking about what went wrong, can that actually help a team going into Game 7?
I think it can, but I think more so like you said, the rest of the impact of the rest and the impact of you not being out there for those 12 minutes and nothing being allowed to happen. You can't tweak anything, you can't do anything as far as injuring yourself. So when they off their feet and they just sitting on the bench, whether they talking about things for the next game or not, I think that's a positive on both sides. Like you say, Tyrese didn't play in the fourth, and a bunch of the OKC players. So I feel like they will have a little more juice from that, because they didn't have to be out there for those 12 minutes exerting energy and fighting either way, whether it was a blowout or a close game. So I do agree with that. But as far as like talking game plan, I don't know. I saw Shea. You heard him mic'd up, him saying like, this is going to be one for every, one Game 7 for everything, and trying to mentally move past that game. So maybe that could help and be positive for them. But like I say, everything comes down to Sunday, man.
Yeah, who shows up? That's it. Who shows up? Who decides that it's going to be their night? I think I was going through the scores of the previous Game 7s here, 2016, 93-89. 2013, 95-88. Lakers, 83. Celtics, 79. 81-74. They all seem to be relatively close games, also low-scoring games. Then we get into the hundreds there back in the 80s in this entire thing. So it does feel as it may be a cagey affair, maybe because Game 7, everybody's a little bit tight. In football games, you get like that, where it's like, we're not going to make a mistake. So everybody's kind of just a little bit tighter. And the defense is easier, I think, effort-wise, than maybe offense. If everybody's a little bit nervous, let them settle in, we'll see. But last night, beginning of the game, it felt like that was being officiated in a way like, hey, physicality is allowed here. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, speaking of that, Q-Rich, do you think Game 7 will be officiated like last night? Because to Pat's point, like they were letting them play, and, a lot of bodies on the floor, a lot of very physical defense. Do you think it'll be officiated like last night? And if it is, who do you think it favors?
I think the players set that tempo. I mean, if you come out and you playing so physical to the point to where they can't call everything, then that means that the players have set the tone that it's going to be a very physical game, because the refs are never going to call every single time. So it's like if they come out and they get into the money and they playing and bumping and get into the physicality of it, that means that them as the players have set that tone. And I think whichever team is being the more physical and imposing their will on that part, I think that'll favor that team. I mean, whichever team it is, that could go either way. I felt like last night that Indy was the more physical team throughout the game. I mean, early the 10-2 start, I felt like Aaron Nembhard was huge for y'all, because I mean it was a silence. It was 10-2 and there was no answers from nobody, and he hit a couple threes here and there and got a couple buckets that kept it from going to like 14-16 to like 4 or something, and maybe going the other way. And then y'all got a handle of it. So I think he was huge. That three right there, the step back was big. He made a couple early buckets that was like they were big buckets to keep y'all right there, and then y'all took over after that.
Yeah, it was not pretty early. It was reminiscent of Game 5, where early we were just completely flustered and nothing was falling. It was like nothing was even having a chance of falling. We hit the back of the backboard on one of the shots. I mean, where we were sitting is like right on the baseline, like kind of up a little bit. So we could basically tell if everybody's shot's going in. It's actually a great location where it's at. As soon as it leaves the hand, you can tell like, oh, that looks like it's going to be short, because you can literally, it's a perfect view. It's like a video game type view of this entire thing. And we see this shot, and it's just, that's veering towards the crowd behind the. I'm like, did that thing get blocked? It's like, no, we're just completely out of sorts right now. And then for our ability to be able to settle back in, it's like the mental toughness of these two teams has been on display throughout. Cannot wait for Sunday. You go into that game, Q-Rich?
No, sir. I will not be attending the game. No. I'm not in the arena and being on the sidelines and all that. I'm gonna watch from here.
Yeah. We'll see if I'm doing the same. Not from there, but maybe from here. A lot of people telling me I need to go.
Hey, show up, pull up, Pete. Pull up with to bring the energy. Bring you and the boys. Bring the energy.
Yeah, the ticket prices of these things. I don't know, if the grandstand of me being the asshole in the other arena is also worth the price of everything else that goes alongside it.
I'm assuming they're damn near sold out already.
I couldn't find them on the secondary market. Could not find any on the court sides on the secondary market. Definitely looked at.
Yeah.
Now, Big Perk has said, you got to, he's telling me I got to come. Mm-hmm. And he said he's going to connect me with the people over there or whatever. And it's like, it would be cool to experience a game over there. Could also not.
True.
See the game there. Could do it from house.
You got a good setup at your house, I bet.
Yeah, it's good. There's a good TV set up right there.
Probably a nice couch.
And then whenever the boys get home, at the FBO.
You're there.
We're there.
You're there.
We're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Every person in here is there.
Absolutely. I will do that for sure. The Pacers.
We got to work on.
We had a conversation about this. The Pacers do need to send one man to sit courtside. His name's Larry Bird.
Oh, that's not
Larry should be there for Indiana. That's just my thoughts on it. I think Larry brings good vibes. I don't know if
I thought you were going to say Hans.
Bingo.
I thought you were going to say Hans because Hans was there last night.
Same kind of juice, yeah.
Appreciate Hans representing yet again last night. He was on a couple different videos. I think he was even on the local news. Yeah, I mean, Hans absolutely crushing it. Welcome to Indy. We're happy you're here. It was a hell of a night. We appreciate you, Q Rich. You're the man.
Yes, sir. Anytime, fellas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Quentin Richards here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What do you mean? Just cut a check for $1.5 million. You know, I know all the seats are gone, but they'll pop a folding chair down for you and say, see, it's pretty
Maybe
not
the
bad.
Thunder will,
Drinks are for
maybe
free.
the Thunder will cover it. They'll cover the plane and.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they will do that. I will be trying to, but I'm going to be a
Did you
reasonable
get on the
human
team
being.
charter?
Sure.
I'm going to be a reasonable human being.
They should stick chestnuts right next to OKC's bench and have them just eat
Chaw
dogs.
stuff down.
Yeah, just crushing dogs and farting on the bench
Just the whole time.
the whole entire night.
I need 45 more hot dogs. That would be,
That would actually help.
He should do that.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe right underneath a hoop.
Yeah.
Or right behind Coach Dags. Like Coach Dags is trying to focus,
Talk.
make adjustments, and all he sees is chestnuts eating 80 dogs.
Right across from their bench. maybe.
Yeah.
And then he makes
Staring at
himself
him.
throw up all over him.
Whoa, I don't think he does any of that.
All over his back when the clock's winding down to 0 as the Pacers are about to win. Dags just gets puked on.
It was electric last night. We had one too, by the way. We were thinking about having one, and we said, you know what, we should, and then we actually did.
When presented with the chance, you kind of have to have one.
And you actually had one.
Yeah, I had one. I said I was gonna have one. I'm not gonna be having one. I'm gonna have one, and that's what I did. And then I went home, and I was obviously when I got home, I had one during the game. But you know, hey, you got to be responsible sometimes.
Speaking of having one, baseball is having one right now. We got fights.
Yeah,
We got real drama with big names in baseball. Now, College World Series this weekend, Coastal Carolina, LSU, best of 3 series. Good luck.
Good luck, boys.
Good luck, boys. You got a lot of pros, future pros playing in this College World Series. And the Coastal Carolina story is obviously the story of the tournament thus far. LSU, obviously, powerhouse. Always will be, always has been. Coastal Carolina has won a World Series in the past. It'll be a best of 3 this weekend in Omaha. Good luck to all the boys over there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for what you've done with your medal bets. Your pings have sent us into true moments of joy as sports fans. Engage Wood, thank you for doing what you're doing. That kept like competitive spirit alive for all of us. But in the majors, there's some big names getting into some big shit, Ty. Can you talk about baseball etiquette a little bit, please?
Yeah, sure. So this is basically right now the Dodgers and the Padres, who they play in the same division. So they play each other, 30 plus times a year. They see each other a lot. They've seen each other in the playoffs before. It's kind of been like a growing rivalry, one of those things where the Padres for the longest time were not good. The Dodgers were, so it's kind of a little brother, big brother kind of thing. But then the Padres started spending a bunch of money and kind of not exactly doing what the Dodgers are doing, but they're trying to get on the same level. They have a bunch of superstars. So to kind of take everybody into what's happening here, over the last 10 days, Fernando Tatis Jr., who is arguably the star of the Padres, has been hit 3 times by the Dodgers.
10 days.
Yeah, in 10 days. First one right there, a little innocuous. It's in the first inning. You're probably not intentionally throwing at a guy in the first inning. So that is probably one that just got away. Let's go to June 17th here, okay? And this is in the 3rd inning. Tatis, now it's a little higher. That's a little up near the head, which, again, maybe he's trying to get him off the plate, perhaps, but that you could argue is, Lou Trevino is throwing at Tatis to try to get him off the plate. But still, it happens. Well, the Padres basically say, okay, you're going to take one at our guy, we're going to take one at your guy. Shohei comes in and boom, he's trying to hit him right in the kneecap. So that, that's a meaty part of the leg. So, it hurts, but, Shohei's going to recover from that one. He's going to limp a little bit. He's not playing in the field. He wasn't pitching that night. So, you go ice that thing up in the dugout. No big deal. Well, then let's fast forward to last night, and this is in the top of the 9th. That one gets Tatis right on the hand. And after the game, he had to, you can see Mike Schilt is pissed. He's had it. This is 3 times in 10 days. We're paying this guy $300 million, and you guys are trying to kill him. Okay? Enough of that. This is bullshit. Right after he gets hit, the bench is clear, and we actually have a video. This is pretty sweet. So this is right when he hits. This is the bullpen. You see these guys just right away. Okay. Nope. And they storm out. The entire bullpen
Going.
So that's sweet, and that's how you know. This is real deal Holyfield. Like, this is actually a thing now. Again, Tatis has to get an MRI. They're hoping that he doesn't have like a broken hand or something like that, because you see that a lot. Guys take an inside fastball when they're gripping the bat, and they might break a couple fingers and be out a little bit. Very important in baseball, having the use of your fingers, obviously, inside a glove and on a bat. So the following inning, Shohei comes up. Same deal. Okay, you take one of ours. We're going to throw it at Shohei's head. And you can see Shohei acts like he got hit by a shotgun there.
100 mile an hour.
But the guy's throwing 100 miles an hour, and he's
stinks.
throwing it. And you can see, like, at this point, the umpires are trying to, like, hey, we don't need another benches clearing brawl. We don't need a bunch of – Shohei's pissed, though. He's pissed. He
Yeah, but
knows.
Shohei was telling the boys not fight.
I think he was saying, like, because, they're going to try to send, like, the medical staff out there to, like, see if he's okay. I think he was saying, like, no, piss off. I'm good. I'm going to go take first base, and I'll be okay. Because after the bench is cleared, like, a lot of times they're just not going to let, another benches clearing brawl happen in the next half inning. But this has been going on. I mean, the Dodgers and the Padres will play each other probably another, I don't know how many times they've played so far this year. They'll probably play each other another 15 to 20 times this season. This is going to be something to keep an eye on. This is a legit rivalry, bad blood between these two. And anytime you got pitchers throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs
At Shohei Ohtani's
head, at Fernando Tatis Jr.'s head, who is also a $350 million guy, like, this is kind of this stuff happens in baseball. You kind of likened it off the show. You're like, I kind of like this. It's kind of like fighting in hockey. It's very similar. It's an unwritten rule. Like, you come at our guy, we're going to come at your guy.
They have 6 games left against each other.
Okay, so not that many, but still, it's, what? He'll get 3 at bats. I mean, they could still hit Tatis 15 times the next 6 games if they wanted to.
I love a little rivalry. I also like when baseball does a little hockey.
Sure.
Okay, hockey's a big, is that right, sport. And then we're going to get you back. Baseball is showing that it is as well to its biggest star. Shohei Ohtani get a 100-mile-an-hour fastball at his head. I mean, that's an insane situation. And him just eating that. You said, well, he did do an ouchie.
He did.
100-mile-an-hour.
Which I get it. That's 100 miles an hour. That's cheese.
That hurts so
That hurts
bad.
real
When did he
bad.
do that? I
Go
just,
back. Watch it. Watch it.
Hold on. What should I be looking for? Can you do that
So
again,
right
please?
after he hits, he kind of does like a, and then starts walking. A little
Really?
bit. Yeah, just watch it.
I will watch
it. See, you see how he kind of does the neck thing, and then he
No, I didn't see.
Spot on, John. Spot on.
I didn't see.
Yep.
I saw him go and then do one of these and then jog like this.
It really is just the neck positioning. You can see he fucking really.
He just ate 100.
No, I know. I get it. I'm saying rightfully so. I mean, that would have killed me.
He just ate a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
He did. He's a big son of a bitch.
Shohei, you're a dog. Hey, I like what baseball's doing though.
For sure.
I
But
like that.
If I were the Dodgers too, I'd stop throwing it to Tatis because guess what? One of these times they're going to hit Shohei in the head. They're going to, and if it's not him, it might be Mookie Betts or it might be Freddie Freeman. Like that. This stuff can get off the tracks pretty quickly, and I think we've kind of reached a fever pitch.
All right, shout out to baseball. College World Series this weekend. We'll obviously be following along. Is Paul Skenes going to pitch this weekend?
He pitched yesterday, so probably not.
How'd it go?
He pitched great. Obviously, the Pirates.
Is there any pause?
Pirates blew it.
Who's there?
Yeah, this is a problem.
Where's this at?
This is in Detroit. We're the best team in baseball. No one's there. This is
no.
It was a doubleheader, though. Skubal was the first game, so I assume they said, hey, we're going to go to Skubal, best pitcher in the league. We'll go to that game. We're not going to Skenes' game.
Listen, Skubal obviously moves the needle. I get Skubal.
Thank you, yes.
Paul Skenes deserves more.
There was a lot of weather delays yesterday between those 2 games. I get Detroit. What are they, the best team in baseball? They show up.
Well, if they want to fill it up, take notes.
No,
Beam
yeah.
someone in the head and get people in those stands.
I think Paul would do that for his teammate, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like that is a natural thing happening in baseball. Okay, let's move along. Shout out to baseball, and I like what San Diego and LA are doing.
Yeah.
Good for baseball. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's great for football. Is he about to become great for goth?
Think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, fairway side reporter for the Travelers yesterday and senior NFL insider at ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Yeah, Shefty.
How you doing, man?
Hello, gentlemen.
Did you see our report on baseball there about Shohei Ohtani eating a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the shoulder? Don't you like that I like that about baseball, that you're allowed to do that.
Baseball is becoming a little bit like hockey, right?
Bingo. Okay, big sports guy. Let's talk about all the sports that you cover now. Golf, yesterday. Rory has his best day he's had in a long time with you following him along. How was yesterday, and what was your experience as a golf reporter for the first time?
honestly one of the thrills of a lifetime. It was incredible to be alongside Mark Dameron right there. He was kind of telling me where I couldn't walk. My great fear was that I would walk into somebody's backswing, be in the fairway, and get drilled in the side of the head with some 4-iron. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. So I'm like, Mark, where are we going? He says, just follow me. Okay, great. So I'm following Mark Dameron along all day long. We're out there with Keegan Bradley. We're with Rory McIlroy. And Pat, I don't think it's a coincidence that both men shot 6 under and finished in the top 3 golfers that day. Like, I don't know. Is it me following them, or is it them just being on their A game? I don't really know, but it was a great day with them.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like you're certainly leading to one reasoning. It sounds like.
Yep. I'm sure the fact that I was out there had everything to do with the fact that Rory and Keegan Bradley both shot 6 under. But I will say that, honestly, both guys were tremendous. After the round, got a chance to spend time with both. They were gracious. They were great to watch. They were great to follow. I thank them for allowing me to trail in the footsteps of their greatness, and it was a memorable day. Anytime you step out of your comfort zone, like right there, that ball went into the sewer grate. We're trying to describe what's going to happen. There were so many things about the day that I'll remember, but I remember doing the NBA sideline reporting 5, 6, 7 years ago, pre-pandemic, and it was tremendous being around those people, and this was the same kind of experience, and I love doing it.
You mentioned how much you watch golf, how much you bet on golf. You're in like a couple different golf pools. It's like you're an actual golf. Now, are you a good golf player? Like, were you trying to watch them and compare them to your golf game, or were you just talking about what you were observing in front of you? We didn't get a chance to watch your entire coverage yet. We have it bookmarked for this weekend. We will go back to Thursday's round on Sunday. Then we'll get into Sunday's round, see how Scotty and Rory and Keegan are doing on that day.
Yeah, no, Pat, I am not a good golfer. Not only am I not a good golfer, I suck at golf. And there was no part of my game that would resemble their game at all. Okay, but I do watch a lot of golfing. Yes, I'm in a fantasy league, and yes, I'm in this pool with my college buddies where we pick one golfer each week. So, like, from that perspective, I watch so much of it, and I just find it to be captivating, mesmerizing to watch these guys, how good they are at what they do. They hit shots like that are just incredible, where I would be buried. It would take me 5 shots to get out of there. They're right up on the green. Like, and I teased Mark Dameron yesterday. And I heard a couple of times, I watch a ton of PGA Tour Live all the time. And these guys are saying, I don't know how they're going to get it on. This is a terrible lie. They're 180 out. Like, this is not the position you want to be. And all of a sudden, you know, the guy's 6 feet from birdie. And Mark said it yesterday. I go, Mark, that's Rory McIlroy. I don't care that he's got a side hill lie in the rough. He's going to be on the green. Yeah. And he was on the green.
You're saying seeing some of the shots that don't make any sense up close and personal is really the game changer for you? Got it. These golfers are great. I suck at golf as well. And I'm always mesmerized by those who are great at golf. I also think golf coverage, they figured it out. That's why our big question with Live Golf is like, hey, I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel here. Like, golf coverage is good. And, like, the person walking with the groups, great.
Yes.
Great addition. Easy drop-ins, too. Everything feels smooth. Obviously, they have the good shots docked. You can hear them. It's like golf coverage is wonderful. I think that's why it's great background TV for everybody throughout the weekends, especially if Scheffler's T1
without a doubt.
Going into the weekend. It's like, hey, there's going to be some magical moments. And Rory's in the dancing again after something. Now, is it because of, what were they calling you out there yesterday, Adam Schefter? What were they calling you?
Yeah, by the end of that, some people call me Adam Scheffler. You know, listen, we got Scheffler, Schefter, Shoffley. We got a lot of stuff going on, right? So,
jeez, a lot of shift going on. Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit football, shall we? Over the next few weeks.
Let's drum it up, Pat. Let's drum it up, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Drum it up.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah. We had a good conversation earlier today, Schefter and us, about what day-to-day looks like, you know, for sports shows on a regular basis. And, you know, I think we pointed out to you something that you already know, and I think something that ESPN knows, because I believe we know the deal that you signed and what it was and what other insiders signed for as well. You guys are the news generators, the news creators. One tweet from your particular account rattles not only a sports fan base or fan bases, but an entire sports ecosphere, basically, everything that could happen inside of it. So is there anything over the next few weeks that are brewing, like that you know of, that you can foresee? Is there any outstanding storylines other than Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati? Other than, is TJ Watt going to get signed? Is that basically the big ones that we're waiting on? And I guess Micah Parsons as well. Is there anything else that's kind of lingering through that maybe we haven't seen or heard of?
First of all, let's go back to Wednesday a second because we bring up Jair Alexander. And as I'm on the phone, I misread the text. I got a text. Jair is here in the building right now in Baltimore. So as I'm on the phone with you, at 12:36, I get a text that Jair is in the building right now. So I misread it because there was a text with an emoji prior to that. So there's always something going on in the NFL. That's the point, right? There's always something going on. So I would say this, that the Dolphins continue to have conversations about trading Jalen Ramsey, and I think that a trade there will get done. The question is, when does it get done? Does it get done next week, the week after, prior to the start of training camp? I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but Jalen Ramsey will get traded. It'll be, I would expect, before the start of training camp. We'll see how it shakes out, where he goes. I think he would like to go to the West Coast, to Los Angeles, Rams, Chargers, somewhere like that, and we'll see how that happens. Now we're waiting on these contractual situations. We have a number of unresolved matters that I would expect that there would be some resolution with a lot of them. Trey Hendrickson, yes, he and the Bengals are talking. They're talking, but they haven't made a whole lot of progress so far. Now, that could change with one phone call, and things could get heated up very quickly, but there hasn't been a lot of progress so far. They're stuck on the length of the deal. Bengals want fewer years. Hendrickson would like more years. And I think before you can figure out a value, you've got to figure out the length of the deal. And they haven't even been able to do that right now. The Steelers and TJ Watt, would expect them to figure out something. He's the heart and soul of that team, just like Trey Hendrickson is for Cincinnati. Got to get a deal done for him. Micah Parsons is going to become the highest paid defensive player in NFL history at some point this summer. But here's the whole thing, Pat. Honestly, like these front offices, these coaching staffs, they go so hard all during the year. Most of them have finished wrapping up mandatory minicamps. Many of these people are going away. They're taking a break. They know how intense the next 10 months are going to be. So this is their one chance to get away, which doesn't mean that something can happen in the next month. It always can. But nobody's in a rush to make anything happen till we get to, say, the week before training camp. Again, I would imagine some things will trickle in here and there. Couldn't predict what they will be, but there'll be some things that happen here between now and the start of training camp. But I think people in the NFL, they're trying to make the most of their quiet time at this time of year. I will say this. Keegan Bradley yesterday, before the start of the round, said, hey, if there's any Patriot news, please let me know during the round. I said, we'll see if we can make something happen. So I would have interrupted
We'll see if we can make something happen.
If there was significant enough Patriot news yesterday, I would have interrupted Keegan. And I don't know that he would have minded dropping a shot if the Patriots would have acquired the right guy.
Imagine Keegan lining up. We're about 210 yards out here on the third. He's lined up as Schefter. Keegan!
Run.
You off microphone. Yellow polo, doing the entire thing. Okay, so you could have broken the Jair Alexander story on our program. That would have been cool, especially because of how big of fans we are of Jair Alexander. Those emojis and like the previews. And I don't like the AI email preview. You need to get out of my face. Mm-hmm. I don't need that. Just let me see the first line. Yeah, let me just see the first line there. Trey,
I like to see something factual, right? Like I'm on the phone with you. I can't have a conversation. So I get an emoji. And I get, he's in the building now, and I'm like, okay, he's in the building. So the deal's getting, I'm on the phone, so I can't really follow up. And the emoji, I wasn't smart enough to figure out what the emoji meant.
Yeah, hey, sometimes you're going to miss some every once in a while, especially with this modern technology, with the way words are being transferred from one side to the other, which is kind of how you basically stated the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson's going. They're talking, but it's like a lot of what we said. All right. See you tomorrow.
That's it.
All right. We're thinking.
15 a year. What do you say?
We're still 1 year, right? I think that's what you reported. They're thinking like 1 year, maybe a boost of the contract, right?
Something like that right now. That's on the table. That's been discussed. Who knows where they'll come in?
Yeah, but they were thinking about like, hey, we'll just boost this year for you, then you will have a chance to do the thing. That would be a Duke Tobin play. That would be a Cincinnati Bengal play. They wouldn't be the only team in the history that has done that, where somebody feels undervalued. Well, let's do a negotiation just for this year. We'll get you an extra 7-year, $21 million. We'll give you an extra $7 million for $28 million. We'll give you an extra $9 million for $30 million for this year. And then bang, you're a free agent. And he's like, no, I think I've earned long-term security. We've done this now a couple different years. You could see how there would be at odds, because I think Trey's entire thing is like, you've told me for a year and a half now that this is going to get kicked down, and now you're trying to literally do it again in this entire thing. Fascinating standoff between those two. TJ Watt, everybody assumes, is going to get done. Jalen Ramsey being back actively talked about. I think that's a nice reminder. I don't know if that's more breaking news. Jalen Ramsey, highly sought after, though. Is there a lot of teams that are looking at him? Because
there's definitely interest, but again, the price tag is something that I think if it weren't there, and let's just say we're a free agent, I think there would be more interest in him than there is now. There aren't a lot of teams that are ready, willing, and able to foot the bill for what it would take to take on Jalen Ramsey. And so that's why there's got to be some discussion with the Dolphins and what they're willing to take on and what the team's willing to pay and how the trade would work out. But I would expect that he gets traded at some point here.
All right. We appreciate the hell out of you. We know you got a busy afternoon. Heard he's going to...
No. Really?
What?
Oh, yeah. Connor will be interested in this. I have a conversation on the main stage at Fanatics Fest here in a couple hours with somebody that Keegan Bradley would like.
Larry Guy?
That would be my
Robert Kraft.
Bobo.
You and Bob Kraft just having a conversation on the main stage at Fanatics Fest. Do you have prepared questions, or are we just rolling? Do you have one question to start the conversation, or do we got them all?
I have a couple of topics in my mind. Nothing really prepared, and we'll have a conversation, and I'll play that conversation and another conversation I'm going to schedule to have there with Chris Webber, another Michigan man, on my podcast next week.
Wow, Shefty's cooking.
Okay, Shefty.
You're there for
Hey, you know what? Hey, Pat, it's mid to late June. You got to have some fun, right? So you do golf one day, you do Fanatics Fest the next day.
Chris Webber, the next day we do a little podcasting, do a little news break, do a little golf, but we never play golf because we suck. And I appreciate you.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter, have a good one.
Hey.
He's on a main stage.
That's a big deal.
With Bobo Kraft. Let's go.
Bobby.
I just want to throw this out there. I know Schefter said that Jalen wants to go to the West Coast, but if you read tea leaves like we do, if you pay attention to Instagram like we do, Jalen has recently followed Deshaun Elliott, DK Metcalf, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay. Those are all Pittsburgh Steelers. And he just liked to post on Instagram from the NFL that showed the new additions to the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. So just something.
So you're saying Shefty thinking that he wants to go back to the West Coast?
Just saying.
Might not be 100% accurate information at this exact time.
Just say it's something to watch.
You know what they say? West Coast on the East Coast.
Bingo.
Pick up that $20 million and he's yours.
Gladly.
No, I think that's probably a massive part of the negotiation. You said gladly I'll take the $20 million because you're paying a quarterback $10 million?
10. Fuck it.
Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers,
Darius Slay.
1 year for the rest of our lives.
Cam Hayward's still there.
TJ Watt gets traded.
4 quarters for the next 40 years of our lives.
So you're going to pick up $20 million for Jalen Ramsey. This is a good question, actually. They just paid Deshaun Elliott. Put the W in Elliott.
Paid him well.
Yeah, they did pay him.
He's bringing
He's
the W.
well off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. As he should. He's certainly earned it. And TJ's deal is just sitting there, and that's going to be around $40 million a year.
If he doesn't want to take it, he doesn't have to.
At a certain point, I think what Tony's saying is these players need to be happy with what they're making.
Is that what you're saying? Are you repeating the ownership from the Cincinnati Bengals at the owners meeting?
I'm not an owner, so yeah, I can say that.
Well, all right. I don't think you need to be talking like that.
No, I don't.
Hey, TJ, I hope you get a chance to see that.
Yeah. I mean, Tony might just know what we know, and that's that Nate Herbig is due for a 15-sack season.
Herbig's a dog.
Nick.
Yeah.
It's Nick.
Shit!
Nate's his brother.
Who plays guard, who also
Bingo.
might switch over to D-tackle and get 15 sacks this year.
Cam Hayward could teach him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. All right, let's talk a little bit about the NHL. Florida Panthers go back-to-back in Stanley Cups, and they certainly are experiencing celebrating. And down there in South Florida, there's a lot of opportunities. Obviously, we saw the elbow room yesterday morning. Then they were on golf carts traveling around. Then they're going to different people's houses. Brad Marchand's actually at Dairy Queen. They're calling him the Dairy King this morning. They're serving the Brad Blizzards, which is his blizzard of choice, down there in South Florida. I mean, they're getting after. And last night, they were down there at 11. Which I've never been inside of. I do believe we have some people in the building right now that have maybe frequented 11 whenever they head to the 305 area. Sure. Gumpy, what is 11 known for? And what was last night like if you were to be there, you think?
It's a phenomenal establishment. You get a table there, have a great time, and it is cranked and it never shuts down.
It's a adult ballet, though, as well in there?
It's a nightclub with an adult ballet.
Okay, so it's a slash type
Yeah.
operation. They were having a good time.
Multi-purpose arena.
And they were in there last night having a blast. And at one point throughout the evening, Sam Bennett, who is an absolute dog. There's no other way to put it. Stats-wise, leadership-wise, there's one play from the series where he hits a guy, takes a guy out, then he skates around, comes down the other side. Just everything that is Florida Panther hockey beast. And he's a free agent. And we were talking to Bill Zito the other day, and Bill Zito was talking about how we are going to spend to the cap. Ownership wants us to definitely do that. Is fully committed. We love what we have here. Our team's the tightest it's ever been. We hope we're able to keep everybody. Sam Bennett last night at 11 was like, I'm fucking staying. So don't you worry about it. Now he's a little boozed up. It is at Club 11.
Sure.
I don't know how legally binding any of it is, but it sure feels like this entire team is planning on sticking around, staying together. And that's a beautiful thing if you're from South Florida, because this team's a wagon, and they're clearly the best team in the league, and everybody else is just kind of looking up at them right now.
Yeah, especially when you look around the other teams in the Eastern Conference that are kind of not in shambles, but definitely aren't going to be coming back next year with as much firepower as, you know, the Panthers are. The Maple Leafs, obviously, they're kind of up in arms. The Capitals, who had a great regular season, didn't play too well in the playoffs. Who knows with them? And then even the Carolina Hurricanes. It feels like the Carolina Hurricanes can do anything they want, and they'll still get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals. If you're a Panthers fan, you're thinking back-to-back-to-back three-peat.
They're thinking, let's have a good time down here. Changing what Lord Stanley Cup's trips are normally like.
Yeah.
If they put the itinerary out, I guess it's Live on Sunday, King of Diamonds Monday, Swagger just dumb. They're calling it Kelly Bundy.
Exactly.
That's what they're saying right now.
Probably.
About Lord Stanley Cup.
That's exactly what they're saying. You think they take tomorrow off? Tomorrow Saturday because the parade's Sunday? Like
Off of what?
drinking.
No, certainly not.
These are hockey boys.
I know.
Hockey boys, this is just a part of the culture. I think it's potentially because there's so many Russians involved.
Sure.
And the Russians, from what I've been told, just vodka is just like
water
thing. Booze, I think, is just a normal thing, especially for European cultures. And then the Canadians, obviously, they have one a lot on a regular basis.
Sure.
So I think like alcohol culture is a little bit different in hockey. I think you are expected to have one with the lads if you ever do it. So I think they'll probably be having one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Barkey's a Finnish lad. I know he fancies the gin a bit. I'm assuming.
His father's Russian.
I did
There you
feel
go.
bad for Rhino because he was hammered, still boozed up, and he had to go to Raising Cane's. He had the hat on, the shirt on, and they asked him. He was like, thank God there was no sobriety test this morning.
No, yeah, but he was talking about just to get to the event, not because he was driving.
No, sure, no,
No,
of
they
course.
said he needed to be sober here to come to this.
Right.
And he said, well, are you going to be testing me or... Yeah, you're supposed to be drunk all day celebrating Stanley Cup. You all started last night.
Yeah, you want to check your fingers or not?
Raise some canes, baby.
Yeah, good cops down there. They're taking care of those boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats to the Panthers. We'll be back on the other side. Game 7 on Sunday. Sports are great. We'll see you then.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's
Another farting Dan Orloski situation just took place.
What do you mean? It's unbelievable.
Your butt was just talking, okay?
I did not fart.
Dan. This is 2 times now, Dan. This is the Orlovsky thing.
You guys being serious right now, or are you messing with me?
Dan, listen to this clip. This is you just moments ago.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's
Dan.
I mean, it's undeniable.
You guys definitely just freaking idiots.
Dan, we swear.
You guys 1,000% just made that up.
No, we swear. swear. We swear.
No way.
So no one did that then. What did you eat?
I haven't even ate two guys.
Hey, if I were you right now, I'd go grab some food.
My wife texted me. She said, "Oh my gosh, McAfee Show, I'm dead." I go, "Babe, I promise you on everything, I did not fart."
Who runs your Twitter account?
AB.
I do.
What's this all about? I would like to know, in that situation where your butthole started talking, what did I do?
I can't even be serious with you, man.
What are you, chucking a glass of milk, eating some fruit over there, get you some coffee, get that butthole a little bit more active?
I haven't ate. I'm eating yogurt. I have 1,000 text messages right now of people going, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, I just wanted to have like a quiet Tuesday.
I don't even know why we're going to have another hour. Maybe we run that clip.
Yeah. On loop.
We have the video. Shams, let's let you judge here.
It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
I need to hear the context. I want to give our guy...
Oh, Shams, shut up. He said it sounded like a fart.
What did AJ vote?
It's a fart all day long, Kirk. You know that.
Has anybody voted no?
Dan.
I'll be the captain of Team No today.
We need you to do a tie-breaking vote. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me. It's impossible to be at the top at both of those, essentially. Like, it's...
There's no doubt. I mean, I like how he just kept on going right there.
When he was talking, he didn't even break stride as that thing came out. He went and got the buggy, went to the store, grabbed some dude wipes to wipe those ass cheeks, just like I assume you do as well, Cabal.
You have to go dry, wet, dry. Toilet paper, white toilet paper. If not, you're really risking the rest of the day having the swamp ass. You know, Dan Orloski, man, he got to accept that, man. He got to wear that with a pride. One thing that really bothers me when people do not take credit for it. You know, if somebody says, "Oh, that was you that farted," I get upset when it wasn't me. I'm like, no, when have I ever not claimed it when it was mine? You should claim it.
What all those airports? People are traveling today, looking up at the ESPN. Dan Orloski farts. What's wrong with this guy?
The closed captioning person, whoever it is, they got it. I believe it said inaudible, muffled, and it said Dan farts.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Great Friday, June 20th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Sports are happening, and the Indiana Pacers last night just put on for the entire sports world. They obviously put on for Indianapolis in the state of Indiana, and they forced the Game 7 down there in Oklahoma City on Sunday night in convincing fashion, where everybody on the roster showed up, and now their record-breaking, unfathomable run continues. This Pacer team's been a lot of fun. They've been doubted. They've been counted out. They've been overlooked. They've been wished upon to disappear numerous times. The NBA actually didn't even put them on primetime television basically until like Eastern Conference Final in this entire thing. Had to find the Ion Network whenever they were taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers at the beginning of this. Throughout the regular season, never saw this team. The world didn't, but Indiana did. And since the All-Star break, all we thought to ourselves is this team's got it. This team's very good. Tyrese came into full form. He went back to himself after having maybe a little bit of a off-season that was filled with a lot of chaos and maybe even a little injury that hindered him a little bit early. And then after the All-Star break, which Pascal Siakam went to the All-Star game and dominated, this team learned how to play again, like they were last year, but even better. They were experienced after what happened to them last year whenever they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and the Boston Celtics swept them. They'd been there. They had done that. They understood the big stage. They knew what was waiting for them every step of the way. And now, for the first time since 2016, they will be playing in an NBA Finals Game 7 in the most rumpus barn in all of sports, is what they say. Sunday night is going to be historic, legendary. I know both teams are ready for it, and I'm excited to watch the Pacers and how they show up for the city yet again. Last night was awesome. We were lucky to be there. This has been an absolute thrill to watch this team do what they do. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet shirt.
Hey, thank you very much. I had to do it. And this is the best part. You can throw all the talking head bullshit out the window. It's all coming down to one game. So everyone can pick against the Pacers time and time again. Hey, they're not good enough. OKC's the best team. We heard TJ McConnell's dad. It's Game 7. Anything can happen. And that's
what else did he say?
He talked a little bit about how you're not okay. He missed 2 foul shots. Didn't love that. He missed 2 foul shots. I get her at because we won a game. But my son's going to play for an NBA championship. My son, he's going to be a part of it. It was awesome.
He's very proud.
He did.
Awesome. Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
I love this guy growing up.
I'm happy there's a Yinzer in the NBA Finals.
Yes.
Like TJ, we don't have a lot of Pittsburgh guys that go and make it to the NBA. Basketball, obviously, we do not have a professional team, although I think Pittsburgh, good sports town, if the team was to be good.
Yeah.
If there was an expansion of the NBA and it was placed in Pittsburgh, if the team was good immediately, got it. Team wasn't good for a bit, would be very difficult. That'd be very difficult to get in there. We're city of champions, okay? Look around.
Sure.
Look around. Pirates are a laughing stock. Penguins, certainly in the middle of a transition here. Pittsburgh Steelers going all in. But you're not just getting dropped into our city. But Pittsburgh people being in the NBA Finals is a great thing for sports.
Yes.
TJ McConnell exemplifies bopping wood. He is like the perfect player to represent Pittsburgh basketball. Technically sound, fundamentally sound, not scared of anything. Will obviously lock it down. Do the things that nobody else is willing to do, which is work for the entire game in the entire floor. What's that, Tone?
There's just been some great TJ McConnell tweets. So there was one that said he's the first special teamer to play in the NBA.
Bingo.
There was a lot of them saying like, "Oh, tell you what, this kind of kills the narrative that the old school players couldn't play in today's NBA." And then tell you what,
kind of valid.
Yeah. He kind of come on. I think he's a modern day Bob Cousy. If I had to, if I had to really put a pin in it.
SGA is?
No, TJ McConnell.
Hey, look, I love TJ like I love my brother. Okay, but if we're talking modern day Kuzi, we're talking Wemby and Kyrie Irving combined. Okay?
Nonetheless, TJ McConnell was breaking some records throughout the entirety. This 10-5-5. He was the first player to do that in a game off the bench. He's become the first bench player in the history of the finals to have 60 points, 25 assists, 15 rebounds. He is getting TJ chance every time he walks onto the court. They show him up on the Jumbotron. The whole place obviously erupts. It would be like that in every city, I assume, with TJ McConnell, but it is perfect for the Indiana Pacers to have TJ McConnell.
Yeah, and even in Philly, I don't know if it was like that when he was in Philadelphia with the Sixers, but he has kind of become TJ McConnell, the guy for the Pacers and just for, bench players, people who appreciate dudes coming off the bench and just going bananas. Celtics, Peyton Pritchard, kind of similar. This is also now going to be the second year in a row where Netflix will have the NBA champion on their starting 5. Last year they had Tatum. This year they're going behind the scenes with Tyrese and SGA throughout the entire season. So you're talking about that is probably what every single documentary in the history of sports has been looking for. We saw it with quarterback and Peyton Manning doing it, following Mahomes. They wanted to do Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts kind of said no when it was the first round of the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. Now having 2 of the 5 players that they're following for the entire 2024-2025 season being Tyrese and SGA. One guy wins the MVP. Maybe, hopefully, the other guy wins the NBA Finals. That is perfect.
I think people are going to fall in love with Tyrese. I assume with SGA as well because of everything that we've heard about him as a teammate and how he operates. People are going to fall in love with Tyrese.
Yeah.
If you get to know, Tyrese is a good dude.
Yeah, it feels like they did even with the Olympics. Like when it wasn't because he was playing and going off, it was because he was the ultimate team guy on the bench, and then the tweets, of course, after when you do nothing but still get an A on the group project. That was kind of the beginning, and now here we are where it's this guy is the dude.
Yeah, life is wrestling for Tyrese, He understands his role, got to do what he got to do. All right, I'm not playing on this team. I'm certainly lucky to be here, though. Let's not get crazy.
I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah, we are at the Olympics.
got the emoji next to my name on X.
Yeah, I'm
part of it.
I'm going to bring these vibes. I get whatever my role is, but like obviously he's a dog and a killer on the court.
Yes.
Like that has been proven time and time again. Clutch shot, gritting through whatever he's got going on. Excited to hear what it is whenever the series is done. Like that they're doing like an NHL approach to this whole thing, by the way. You'll find out what everybody's got after this thing. We're all battling through it. I love that because that's not really the NBA's kind of narrative, that they're all playing through shit, but they are. The entire team, the entire series has been. I love that. And Tyrese is funny, too. Like, actually fun, like shit talker, normal human from Wisconsin. Obviously went to Iowa State, which he deems the best school in Iowa.
And that's one of the few things that Tyrese is wrong about, but I love the guy. So I'm willing to look past that.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, from Fanatic in Ohio. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
How you doing, Hawker?
Yeah, I'd say that was the definition of like a team hard-fought victory, wouldn't you say, last night?
Yeah, I'd say. Good basketball. Team buckled down. It started terribly. 8 people score over 200 points in a single postseason. That becomes a record. They were underdogs 10 wins or something like that. If they were to win, obviously, the finals, they would have the most underdog wins in a postseason run since the Miami Heat, I think was the team.
When they were the 8th seed and they went all the way to the finals.
Yeah, so it's like they've been – this team is literally – and we don't have to do Bucks, yes, they're going to win. Cavs, number 1 overall seed in the East, yep, they're going to win. Everybody. Literally everybody had a microphone. And then you roll into that Knicks series, everybody wants the Knicks to win. So literally everybody picks the Knicks. And then in this one, everybody's picked Oklahoma City. It has literally been every single series, this Pacers team, supposed to lose by everybody that knows ball. Everybody that talks about ball is like, this Pacers team can't do it, this Pacers team can't do it. And then all of a sudden they show up and they're up by 30-some in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and it's like, will there ever be a conversation about how great this Pacers team is? Not that the Oklahoma City team isn't, but I'm saying this Pacers team, as a team, you're talking, they are a great basketball team, and I think they're proving a lot of things in 2025 for the NBA and basketball as a whole, AJ.
All right, I mean, they continue to, I guess, defy the odds of what people think of them, especially they're a 7.5-point dog on the road in Game 7. I'm sure, like, Rick Carlisle has to love this. Like, he has to love the narrative that no matter what we do, no matter how many games we win, people are always going to doubt us. And that's, as a coach, like, a team can absolutely rally around that. I feel like these guys, like, they own that. That's their identity. Like, hey, okay, cool. We're going to prove everybody wrong.
Tyrese Haliburton loves it. Hates that everybody talks shit. Loves that everybody talks shit. It's kind of one of those. We were pulling up the scores of the Game 7s, 2016, 2013, 2010. I think there is one. I was trying to figure out from memory, because I just saw it on my screen and it was up there. 7.5 feels like more than any of those scores were. Game 7. They were all pretty tight. They were all within like 4 or 6.
Yeah.
I think 7.5 feels like a big Game 7 spread. Like, that legitimately feels like it. For a couple games there, though, the sports books were right on. I mean, they knew exactly what was happening. Last night, they're obviously wrong. I do wonder how people will tend to bet in this particular Game 7, because in my eyes, Game 7, tight, a little bit of a cagey affair.
Yeah.
AJ, that's how I kind of view it. Don't you think the same thing?
Oh, for sure. I mean, this game last night was an elimination game for the Pacers, but not for Oklahoma City. Like, Oklahoma City know they have a little bit of a buffer, and we can possibly go home and win this thing at home. Pacers, they knew backs against the wall. Like, hey, every shot I miss is one step closer to us going home for the year.
Yeah, but even for that mentality now, too, like for OKC, all the pressure's on them. And it has been the whole series. They're the favorites, one of the best seasons ever, all that stuff. But now for them, it's, hey, we had a 3-2 lead. So if we're going into Game 7, hey, we can't be the team that blew a 3-2 lead. We've dominated this postseason run. This is also now going to play into the whole, hey, we haven't lost a back-to-back since last year. Like, everything is kind of in our favor, so to say, you could. But the 7.5, I mean, it feels as though if they made it any smaller, even if the odds makers would want it to be smaller, they know all the money would come in on OKC, and I bet it's still going to.
The stats say if you're trailing 3-2 and then you win Game 6, you'll go on and win. Game 7.
Hey.
You'll go on and win Game 7. Cavs, Heat, Lakers, obviously you see the graphic there. Good luck to the Indiana Pacers trying to do that. First back-to-back losses for the Oklahoma City Thunder since 2024 is what it would take in a building that is going to be vibrant and alive. I think the Pacers might be the team to be able to do it. They thrive in that type of setting, but this Oklahoma City team's a real deal. Let's go through some of the scores here of the NBA Game 7s there. 93-89, what's that, 4? 95-88, that's 7. 83-79, that's 4. 81-74, that's 7. 90-84 is 6. 108-105, 3. 111-102, there's a 9-pointer in 1984. 105-99, that's 6 in 1978. So 7.5 would be the biggest,
Yeah.
since 1984.
I mean,
and the Pacers
that would be the biggest spread.
Larry Bird
in 1984.
I can't believe they scored 111 points in 1984.
That's Larry Legend, baby. That's what Larry Bird does. That's why he doesn't get enough respect, and that's exactly why I think he needs to be there for the Indiana Pacers.
He should.
Okay.
I think he's been around, from what I've been told, for some of these workouts for the draft. Because one half of the building right now, I guess 80% of the building right now, is trying to win a title.
Yeah.
And then there's 10 to 15, 20% of the building that's like, we got a draft next week. We got free agency happening. Like, they're really on top of each other. I mean, their seasons are very much on top of each other. Like the NFL, obviously, if you go to the Super Bowl February, everything kind of starts in March, but you still have like a month to do things. Right now, this draft is next week. Free agency is about to kick off and really get rolling. Trading is supposed to happen before draft, like everything's happening. And the Pacers in Oklahoma City are all eyes on the finals. That's a weird thing for the NBA. I appreciate them, like, kind of double stamping when they have all the attention, though. Okay, we got the finals, and then guess what? Draft is coming in 3 days. Like, you can kind of steal some, maybe rollover. But for the teams that are in this finals, this is a nightmare. Yeah. This is a nightmare situation as you look ahead to the future.
Didn't we hear, wasn't it last year, Bill Zito even told us, like, the NHL is in somewhat of a similar situation. I don't know when their draft is, but I know they're absolutely working on next year when you normally would have already been out of the playoffs for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks by now.
Good problem to have.
The Pacers
Great problem.
Traded one, I think either traded for a first-round pick or traded a certain pick while they've been in the finals for next week's draft. So to your point, the GM has still been making moves and getting different picks for next week.
Let's talk about some stories that happen around the sports world outside of the Pacers forcing a Game 7 on Sunday. In about 25 minutes or so, we'll be talking to Mark Creal. Do you know who Mark Creal is?
Yeah, I definitely recognize his face when I see it.
Yeah, he's like one of the most noted boxing writers of all time. Has biographies written on like so many.
I read his Pistol Pete book. When I looked him up, I read his Pistol Pete book a while ago.
Yeah, a lot of books. New York Times bestseller. Like, I think he's like a very, very focused writer. Has a new book coming out, or is already out, his newest book, Baddest Man, The Making of Mike Tyson. That was released on June 3rd.
Oh, great cover.
Great cover. And Ty tried to skim through as much as possible because we got sent a version of it. Anytime Mike Tyson's a part of it, people are going to want to read and learn about. This one, I think like a lot of research has been done into this.
Yeah, for sure. The sheet they sent us said that Creal early on followed him in his career, like when Tyson first came up, and he said, I probably wrote like more scathing articles about this guy than anyone else. And he said in time, just like due to his upbringing and what he had to go through, like he felt like he kind of needed to set the story straight and like what actually makes Mike Tyson tick. And it goes into his upbringing, his relationship with Cuz Yamato, who was, like his trainer, and ended up actually like adopting him. And then there's just a bunch of other like very interesting tidbits that I saw in there. Like a lot of people say that the rise of HBO is basically solely attributed to Mike Tyson because they didn't really have like serialized series or anything like that, but they got the boxing rights. And it said that HBO during his prime, during his run, was like making, I think they were like, the subscriber base was going up like by millions and millions of people every single month because they had all his fights. But yeah, it's basically just a complete look at his life and kind of how he went from like, being hated by most people, for a long time due to different, like
situations.
Yeah, situations, I guess, a bunch of different situations, and how now he's kind of come back on the other side and he's like America's sweetheart and everyone loves him again.
Yeah, him, I wish I would have been more of age whenever it was
Come on.
It was they said he used to be swinging refrigerators. That is like it was before Mythbusters or before they had the technology to test everything. They were just saying, yeah, you hardest puncher in the history of punching. It's like 2 refrigerators thrown around. And he was trying to knock people out on a regular basis. Obviously, we all know the stories. But we can't wait to talk to Mark Creal about this particular book. I actually got to work with him at NFL AM on NFL Network back in the day. We used to have call times about 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Sure.
That was a good time. He was always very good to me. Obviously an incredible author. But also, big deal in the boxing world. Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez will have their first press conference for their mega super duper fight that's coming in September. I cannot wait to see what this new TKO and Riyadh season in the Ring magazine and Turkey and the Crown Prince, God bless him, relationship is going to look like. But I know that if they're going to be putting on Canelo versus Crawford in stadiums as their first one, and that's the game plan, I think boxing is about to be in a really good spot. Can't wait to ask Mark if he feels the exact same way.
Yeah, and like these are the fights that we talk about as, me personally at least, that's more of a casual boxing fan. Like these are the ones that you do really, really want to see. It's not, Canelo versus some random guy. It's 2 guys that you are very well aware of, whether you follow boxing or not. You know who Terrence Crawford is. You know who Canelo Alvarez is. And like if these guys kind of perform after what happened last time in Times Square, like this will be a massive fight. This is like a Tyson Fury Wilder kind of type of billing.
Turkey came out and said, we want guys to fight in here.
Yeah, no more of this Tom and Jerry BS.
Yes, we are, because they invested so much money in boxing. They you hear all the boxing purist people that we were part of the weekend, May 2nd in Madison Square, not Madison Square Garden, I'm sorry, in New York Times Square. Yep. Sorry about that. In Times Square, they had a boxing event. We were there. The amount of money that's being invested into boxing right now to take care of the fighters, to take care of everybody, and then the fights or the punches were like the least in the history of boxing or something. Mm-hmm. They're like, nah, this can't be, we cannot ruin this right now. This is a great thing for boxing. Let's make sure we're fighting. And we're setting the stage for a big one in Allegiant Stadium. Cannot wait to ask Mark his thoughts on it all. Windham Clark, golfer, has apologized for beating shit out of the locker room in Oakmont.
Yep, he should.
About time.
I mean, that's like one little kick. That's barely anything.
What?
There's a couple different lockers here.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple. But, I mean, he could flick those, and that little mesh would go in.
Yeah, I don't think the Oakmont has anything that's little, soft, and meshy. Okay, this is Pittsburgh. Let's not forget that.
Son of a bitch.
But he could have certainly been so mad. He could have certainly been so mad that he walked up there and he actually did a boom.
Yeah, double kick.
Yeah, he was so mad.
Yeah.
Boom.
Double knees or double kick?
Kicking. Boom.
Oh, I see now.
You got to really. He walked in there.
Oh.
Son of a bitch! So bad at golf. I hit it before.
I hope there's footage.
Yeah, because it could have been just one motion.
I think it was.
A lot of people are saying that's 2 different.
No,
not necessarily.
Boom! Boom!
Kind of like Hawker.
Maybe taking a. Yeah, that is kind of like the AJ Hawk mixed martial arts that we know. We know of him. But people are saying he was taking a lot of different hacks. Until I'm told otherwise, he still could have he might have even did one like boom.
Oh yeah,
just one moment of bang. So seems like it might have been a multiple attacks on the Oakmont locker room from Windham Clark. But that course would make you pissed off. But it could have been just one big act of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
So until we hear anything otherwise, I think we shouldn't just.
I think it was probably the one big act. He had a one big act of frustration a few weeks before that when he hooked one off the tee and then just whipped his driver back into the gallery. So Wyndham's had a bit of a hot streak recently.
Into the crowd?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, he strikes me as one of those guys, though. Like even after he won his major, just listening to him talk in an interview, like, oh yeah, this guy's got a dark side. This guy taps in.
How about Hatton?
Big,
yeah.
No, obviously Hatton has that unbelievable moment.
He hold it. That's unbelievable.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
But the way he gets frustrated.
He is pissed. Every single shot, every day. Like he's so fun to watch.
But it's so fun. I agree for us to watch. But I worry about him when he lays down. It's just him. When it's just We're done. I used to be pretty hard on myself whenever it came to, my shit. I would get upset. I mean, there was loud fucks if there was a shank on the field, whenever. Practice, in a game, certainly mad.
Training camp.
Yeah, training camp. Chuck Pagano had to move a drill because there was a bunch of not Make-A-Wish, but there was like a Make-A-Wish operation happening behind us. And I was punting backed up out of the end zone. And this was one of Chuck's first, I think it's Chuck's first year or whatever. And this is first period. Obviously, we're doing punt, backed up punt. This sucks. I hate this. Got to one-step it, get it quick off. It won't be this fast, but we're making it ridiculously fast because it's training camp. Okay, I got it. All right. There should be a sense of feel, though, right? If they're coming, no, we need this. Okay. So I hit a shitty one. Bad. First punt of the day, bad, not good. We want to see that ball go through the thing, especially with the crowd there, teammates watching too. Always want to hit a bomb when teammates are watching. Want everybody to know, hey, the guy that's doing the punting here is a bomber. That's all. You just need to know everything.
Start a practice.
Yeah,
get the vibes.
We get some. Yeah, this is a big deal. Like in my eyes, let's have a good time. Hit a shank, immediately drop a mother fuck loud, right? And then we walk forward. Now we got the next rep or whatever. Chuck comes walking over. Make-A-Wish, kids.
What are you doing?
They're right here.
Jeez.
They know. They got to know.
She had an 8-year-old. There's an 8-year-old here. Right behind you. Jeez. Move the drill up. Blows the whistle. Moves the drill up. That's like me and Chuck's one of our first interactions.
I love
awesome. I laughed so hard afterwards. Just thinking of it also, Chuck, not my fault. Hey, listen.
No.
I apologize.
I'm working.
I'm trying to become. This is how I become. Tyrrell Hatton, though, when he lays down, that's still. I hope it's not.
You think he takes it home with him? I don't know. He might leave it at the course.
Yeah, I feel like the guys that let it out in the moment are the ones that do kind of okay, whatever. I can be pissed and continue to golf. It's the dudes who go into the clubhouse. Windham Clark, and I'm sure there's a couple others.
One big act of frustration.
Yeah. That then they go home because now they're not just thinking about how bad they played. You can tell Windham Clark has been thinking about, holy shit, I destroyed Oakmont's clubhouse for a week at the U.S. Open, looking like a fool.
Well, that's what I'm I think Hatton's funny.
He's hilarious.
I think he's very, very, very funny. The amount of times people have probably told him, you can't do that.
Yeah.
He's like, what? Unbelievable.
What do you mean? It's unbelievable. It's good TV.
He is great TV.
He is.
It is.
I hope he starts winning,
Well, we'll never see him.
Yeah.
What?
He's on live. So.
Yeah, but
he is live.
But we could get him in majors.
Majors.
Yeah, true.
I would like him to win majors because I would like a Sunday. I would like a Sunday with him.
The Open's his best chance.
In contention. I would like him in contention. I'm sorry, Mr. Hatton. I know this is not what you would want to do. But boy, it would be great if he just accidentally, we blade one.
On 18.
Oh my God. Yeah. That would be a spectacle.
That's how Rombo used to be, but he kind of chilled out a bit.
Unbelievable.
Well, maybe it's because I haven't seen him golf.
Maybe you just don't see him. Yeah.
Now, with that being said, new PGA CEO.
True.
Let's see.
Figure it out.
Shake their hands.
Let's see how many we can. Yeah, we'll give you guys a couple scrambles. We'll live.
You got it.
And for those that don't know, he's the one on the left.
Yes.
Oh, thank you,
Roll-up's
sir.
on the left there. Tiger Woods is the one on the right.
Okay.
And the future of golf, in my eyes, very, very bright. I think we are very excited about what's to come. And I think what we just said there about people not being able to compete against each other, I'm thinking, I don't have any inside information. If a deal is to be made, there will be a deal. This guy, good deal maker. Mm-hmm. So I got faith. All right, let's do something we don't normally do, AJ.
What would that be?
Well, let's take some questions from the people.
Okay.
This morning, about 30 minutes before the show went live, I was going to the bathroom, had a good night last night.
It was a great time. Thank you for that again. That was.
It's been a fun run with this Pacers team.
Yeah, that's what we were talking. All the games we got to go to.
This has been it's been long and expensive, but it has been it has been a very, very fun, enjoyable experience. I was like, you know what, we need to take some questions from the people. Haven't done it in a long time, but I don't want questions just for me. I don't want that type of situation. So it was just a good question, good program question for the boys. Okay, good program question.
Sure.
We found a couple. Nick found a couple. Let's roll through those right now. AJ, you will be asked to answer these questions as well, so please pay attention. This one's from Nolan Gorman. Nolan Gorman loves his dog up there. If the NFL ever expands, or NHL ever expands more, would Indy be a viable expansion spot? Seems like the Pacers crowd was given hockey playoff vibes through TV. Hashtag good program question. I like how loud you thought we were. I like how excited you thought we were, like the NHL playoffs atmospheres are. I think Indianapolis would be a great hockey home. I've actually said that to people that need to hear it. I've said that to people that are in that world, in that sphere. There used to be a hockey team that played here. I believe it was called...
the Racers?
Maybe.
The Indianapolis Racers?
The Indianapolis Ice were also here.
The Indianapolis Ice was the team. So I guess the Indianapolis Ice used to play here downtown, and they were like a semi-pro team. They had a goon and everything. And my wife talks about, as a child, coming downtown Indianapolis to watch Indianapolis Ice. And when the goon would come on, they made like a big thing. He was fighting. I mean, it was a whole thing. Well, by the time I got to Indianapolis, they were no longer like a semi-pro team. They were like a high school junior B team. I watched 3 periods of this hockey. I'm from Pittsburgh. There was not a single fight or a single goal scored.
Sure.
So I had never seen worse hockey in my entire life. Like even high school hockey has at least one of those.
Yeah, one kid's real good.
Or at least kids that are so bad, they're
right.
just there to fight. Like it was bad hockey. People were still there. It was like 10, 15,000 people in the arena watching this. The Indy Fuel are currently a hockey team up here in Fishers. They sell out.
Yes,
they fill
do.
up. They're, I believe, the Chicago Blackhawks or the Chicago Blackhawks, I believe, affiliate team. They sell out here in the Fishers area. So, yes, I think Indianapolis would be a great NHL city if they would ever expand. And we would certainly love to help out with that happening. That would be great. Sidney Crosby over here?
Sure.
McDavid, Connor McDavid saying he's doing best for his family. Families love Indianapolis.
Marchand.
Bring in Marchand. Bring him back.
Definitely Marchand for sure, because,
Bobrovsky.
how are you going to be able to pay everybody? I don't know how you're going to be able to pay everybody. Well, actually, we'll take Otter off of Dallas. They don't want him.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, he's locked in.
We'll
We
take
fired our coach. He's
Yeah, that's
staying.
actually a good point. Otter's lost in the past. Why don't we go after someone like Bob, to what AJ's saying?
Bobrovsky?
Yeah, we should.
All right, we'll take Bobrovsky, too. What we're saying is, in the expansion draft, we will certainly be aggressive if they're to get a team here, and we would like to win immediately.
Yeah, no doubt.
Without a doubt.
But yes, this would be a good city for the NHL. Let's go to the next question, shall we? Good program question from CJ Stroud enjoyer, Sean Baum, real life. If when TJ McConnell wins the Finals MVP trophy, could we maybe start thinking about having one? Yeah. I think we should think about having one. What were the odds on TJ McConnell winning the MVP trophy? And also, what were the odds on Tyrese? There's a couple good odds on these MVPs.
So you're going to have to shop around for TJ. Not every book has TJ odds. I did shop around. I did put in a TJ ticket this morning for plus 11,000.
Which would mean what?
I put in 25 to win $2,775. If you put in,
that's tasty.
If you put in 100, you'd win 11,000. Nice. So that's not bad. Tyrese is plus 50 or 1,100. Sorry, right now, which is, I think that's worth a tasty little treat, don't you think? If they win Game 7, Siakam's been great, but he had 16 last night. Let's say he has 16 again, and Tyrese has 30 in a Game 7 win. Plus 1,100 is a 100 to win $1,100 is a tasty little morsel, I believe.
Yeah, especially with the moments Tyrese has. He had one game where he damn near had a triple double. It was he had 21, 9, and 13 or something, and then he has the buzzer beater from Game 1. Let's say Tyrese does go out there and have a 30-point game, or hopefully another buzzer beater to win it. Then all of a sudden we're talking about Tyrese for sure.
And with that being said, Pascal Siakam could once again.
Yeah,
sure,
he can take it. Watching him play, that steal to the push to the no look pass to him going on that guy's head. It's like, this Pacers team is awesome.
Yeah.
They have so many great players, so much depth. Pritchard, the president of basketball operations, and I don't know who all was a part of his staff. I guess I should learn more names in that department. It's like the team they've put together, the way they play, the way they've bought in, the way they've managed egos and salaries and talent. It's like unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Pascal traded from the Toronto Raptors. Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for that. And obviously, Tyrese traded. Thank God for that. TJ McConnell kicked out of town. Thank God for it's like our guys, Nemhard, Neesmith. Literally you start rattling off. Miles Turner was just kind of in transition era in the Pacers this entire time for 11 years now. He has yet, defensive side, he's locked down.
Locking it down.
On the offensive side, though, he is not. He's not getting a bounce. He's getting very unlucky. It's like if he was to spring a couple, all of a sudden we're rolling.
He is due.
Yeah, I think so. I like the Pacers on Sunday.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
And every.
What about Obi Toppin MVP? Is there a line on that?
No.
He had 20 last night, obviously.
Yeah.
Obi Toppin chants are awesome. He was just knocking down threes last night, no problem.
Right away.
No questions asked. As soon as he gets on the court, he's like 4 seconds on the court right there.
Yeah.
He was just sitting on the sideline, high-fiving the security lady, like thanking her, and then he's taking a ball, then he's high-fiving people in the stands. Then he gets on the court 4 seconds later. It's game 6, elimination game, pop it, no problem. It's like Obi Toppin's a problem.
The tough contested rebounds that he gets to, like he'll go up in just one arm. I mean, his paws must be so big. I mean, they have to be. But like that is one thing you notice too. It's like a lot of the early on, it felt like Oklahoma City was getting a bunch of offensive rebounds, and he comes in and it's just like. He's just been rock solid. I cannot believe that the Knicks got rid of him and he just winded up being a Pacer.
Diggs has looked up Obi Toppin's MVP odds.
Yeah, I found him. He's plus 22,000. So TJ was plus 11,000. Obi plus 22,000.
That's the team, though. 8 players over 200 points. It's like there's a lot of different stories that you could kind of go with here. Nemhard's had some big minutes. I don't think anybody's talking about him being.
Give it to the whole squad. First time ever. Give it to the whole squad. We couldn't single one guy out. Here we go.
Well, and is it the same people voting that voted for like the Eastern Conference Finals?
So. I'm pretty sure it's to say maybe a couple more. It might be 11 people instead of 9.
Because once we saw that list, we were like, this is.
Who is it?
In real time. I think Reggie was calling the game. Reggie Miller's calling the game. And then he has to cast the vote. It's like. Reggie's probably vastly different than I am as a human, but when I'm on, it's like I'm just rolling. I'm not like thinking like, hey, who's?
Yeah.
I'm not breaking down all this stuff, and then those votes have to happen in a 2-minute period.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Instantaneously.
And that's crazy. That's a crazy situation.
That was a 5-4 vote too. So I'm talking about like
split?
awards. Yeah, it was split down the middle. That is why the Pacers are so fun to watch, though. Like last night, it's 10-2 OKC. Like I assume if you're a Thunder fan, you're just looking at SGA. Like, hey, let's see early on if SGA is going to be good. When the Pacers are down 10-2 and there's not like a standout player, like because you know what you're going to get from Tyrese when he's a little banged up. There's never any doubt like that they can come back just because everybody can score 20 points at any point in the game.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this basketball run with the Pacers.
6 guys in double figures last night.
Yeah.
And Carlisle, you might as well jot him down for a 30-10 last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He looked great.
Maybe 30-10-10.
Yeah, maybe 30-20-10.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that for Coach Carlisle.
And TJ McConnell's dad.
I love TJ McConnell's dad had a big night. We had no idea. TJ McConnell's dad and Haliburton's dad.
Oh, man.
Those guys need to just go do life.
Yeah.
Need to just ship them places and just say, hey.
Amazing Race.
Bingo. Them taking on Talk and Mitt.
Yep.
Sure.
Traveling in the Mitt. Yeah.
Tough competition.
They could do anything.
We got a little bit deeper into the reality conversation for Mitt. We're not 100% sure which one's perfect for him at this exact stage. Amazing Race would be great for Talk and Mitt. But does anybody watch Amazing Race anymore? I don't know. Does it exist?
I don't even know if it's still a thing.
Yeah, I used to love that show.
Great
too.
show.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the logistics of setting up that.
I think any of them.
Yeah, but does Amazing Race exist? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no, for sure. Any of them that exist, like even like Survivor would be, Big Brother, any of them.
Jeopardy for me.
Yeah.
What's that?
Jeopardy.
That's not what I'm not.
I don't know if they have that
That'd
version.
be cool, though.
I don't know if they
Yeah,
have
it
that
would.
version.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Could you imagine every time a question? Oh.
Minus 63,000 after the first round.
Because he has confidence that he'd be right.
Getting a question wrong. Fuck, dude.
And then when they give the right, I was going to say that. Last question here. We're not getting into that.
What?
Connor just wrote on his dry erase board an idea, and we will certainly visit that off air. Last question here from the internet is from Skippy. With cricket at the Olympics in 2028, will it overtake NFL in North America, and when will there be a cricket correspondent on the show? All right. That's why we don't do the questions.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate you answering that properly.
Trying to get into USA soccer, brother. Cricket's got no chance. Okay?
Yeah, right. Lacrosse we're trying to get into.
I'm already
Massive
all
win
in.
last night.
Who?
USA Soccer 1-0 over Saudi.
That's a big win for us.
On to the quarterfinals, boys.
I heard, who's that?
Berhalter's son.
Handsome lad. Also, proper delivery here as we just knock it home. Yeah, that's a big time. Who's that guy that scored there, Gumps?
Richards, he's filthy.
Okay, so I think Ponch is trying to find his team right now, boys.
Ponch went after the other coach last night. There's a little bit of a dust up.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This is what I've been trying to say the entire time about this new Team USA. We fire our coaching staff this close to the World Cup. New coaching staff is going to have to try to find their team. Here it comes.
Nice.
Boys.
Is Ponch the bald one?
No, here comes Ponch, blue blazer.
You'll feel him.
Bang.
Bang. There's
Get out
Ponch.
of here.
Get on.
Get away.
Take a seat, bud. Get your hands off my guy. I'll fight you right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
what a dog.
I thought he was going to go in there and throw punches, not just put his hands up.
It's a soccer field.
So what?
You knew what was coming.
Yeah, you're right.
You knew exactly what was coming.
You're right.
Anyways, Ponch is trying to find his guys. He wants dogs. That's why he doesn't have.
I like the moxie of Chris Richards. I mean, the hair on that guy it's cool. Look, I'm not just writing off Team USA Soccer just yet, but I'm gonna need a little bit more of that.
A little more pizzazz.
A little bit more pizzazz. A little bit more winning, and a little bit more of Ponch being cool.
Winning. Yeah, I need a little bit more of that.
A 2-game win streak.
Speaking of winning, amen. And we're in the Gold Cup right now. We could win the entire CONCAFA.
Trinidad, Tobago. I can't count.
That's 2 countries.
They had 11 guys on the field.
Yeah. So did Saudi Arabia.
So that is
and 12 guys on the team.
That's a whole nother conversation. They should get more guys on the team like we did.
Yeah.
A bunch of guys we never heard of. So before we move to the boxing world, there's been an update, a lot of updates from Ross about the new NIL commission clearinghouse thing. And interesting the way it's kind of being handled. 130 third-party NIL deal have been submitted for athletes to the new commission. And several remain under review while many others have been approved. We've talked about this before. We don't know how any of them are ever going to be able to get turned down. Because if a company wants to pay somebody a certain amount of money, who's to say what the window is of what the cash can be? Unless that commission is given power to put tiers onto certain things from, I think they would have to get that from actual government. I think they would have to empower this commission to be able to put this is what a top-end deal can look like at this position, which that would be very difficult to do, I think, in a capitalistic society. So I don't know how it all works out, but it's already off and running, AJ. It's already up and running. You upload your deal terms. This can include a contract or any correspondence with your payer that clearly describes the terms of this deal. Sure. You can skip this step for now, but your deal terms will be required. Okay, you're going to have to do that. Then you can confirm your deal, $3,700 in total. Here's the contract, obligations, social media, 4 Instagram posts, 3 pieces of content, unboxing, videos for payer, social media, and website appearance, 2 hours, 1 meet and greet. So maybe this is just legitimizing these deals. So we know that they're going to get paid. Yep. We know that they're going to happen. Maybe this commission isn't here to turn down the money that people want to offer up for players, but they're certainly there to make sure that the money is paid to the players and that they're signing a good deal. I love that if that's how this is being viewed, AJ.
Yeah, I like this whole how they're showing how they can set it up to try to make it as easy and streamline the whole process so it doesn't take forever to try to get something approved. But you're right. I guess I would assume if you ask these people, they would say, hey, we're doing this to try to protect the athlete. Is that what this is for?
Feels like that's exactly what this is for, because now it's being written and checked with a commission of people. This is exactly how this is supposed to go. Because remember, there was a lot of chatter about guys never getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 different lawsuits happening for a lot of millions of dollars because they were told they were going to get paid something, then they never got paid. And then you hear stories of everybody else getting paid big money. It's like, these players are getting overpaid. It's like, there's players getting screwed over right now, too, from these deals that are taking place. So if this is to legitimize the deals, I love that. I love everything about that.
And not letting these companies, I feel like we heard a bunch of times where the guys would do what was initially agreed upon, and then it was like, oh no, you didn't fulfill the terms of what, and you're just left in the lurch. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not getting, so having that, hey, you got 4 Instagram posts, you got 1 meet and greet, you do all that stuff, those are the terms of this deal. I think that's very helpful as well.
Yeah, I appreciate what they're doing. Good luck over there, Sheriff Seeley.
Good luck.
from the MLB has been tasked with taking this on. Former Attorney General, I believe, and former lawyer. So he'll get to the bottom of it, and hopefully college sports will remain great forever. Speaking of sports that will remain great forever, feels like boxing is about to hit a big-time resurgence. And obviously boxing was at its peak whenever there was a man throwing refrigerators around off of his wrist. That was Mike Tyson. There's a new book called Baddest Man, The Making of Mike Tyson, done by the greatest biography writer in the history of sports.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, a guy that was a co-host alongside of me for about a week or two at NFL AM. That's because how long I last. I don't remember how long he was on NFL AM, but he was always very nice to me, and he's incredibly talented. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Creal.
Yeah, more.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
How are you doing, man? I remember those days, 3 a.m., NFL AM, and I remember being introduced to you as, obviously, knower of ball, knower of sports, but also this guy's like one of the greatest writers to ever exist. At that time, I was mentioned that. Now, I think Ty said you still got the fastball. He read through this. Absolutely love it. So writing has always been your thing, and then punditry and commentary off the side, or has it all kind of come together, Mark?
I don't know if it came together. First of all, I don't remember any of those NFL AMs.
Yeah, I mean,
like I remember you coming in and I flubbed something, and but I don't know. Writing doesn't come natural. Like I'm a bleeder. You know, someone once asked the great Red Smith, "How do you do it?" Oh, it's easy. I open up a vein. No problem. Like it ain't fun, man. I didn't want to do this. I owed the publisher money.
Okay, yeah, I heard that whenever you talked to Scott Van Pelt. So you had a book deal with a publisher. You owed them a book, I assume. And then you were trying to figure out what book to do. They mentioned Mike Tyson, and then you said, okay, I'll do this?
No, I said, the hell, there's no way. I'd rather impale certain body parts than revisit Tyson in the 80s and 90s. And who I was as a newspaper columnist. There used to be this thing, newspapers. I wrote a column. That's why I started writing about sports. I didn't want to revisit all the crap that I had written about him. Some of it was justified. Some of it was overboard. But I wasn't really crazy about going back there. But I had just torn a hamstring, and I was severely over-medicated. The guy calls and says, "Hey, listen, man, would you consider Tyson?" No way. A friend of mine said, "You can't give money back, man. It's like against the writer's code," which probably correct. And being over-medicated, I conned myself into thinking I could write a little slim, elegant, nice book about Mike Tyson, like a kind of essay. And the thing about Tyson is once you get into him, he generates more story than anyone I've ever come across. And the other thing is that finding new stuff about him, that's a daunting task. It's not like he hasn't been, discovered. It's not like there's anything that in the large parts of his life we don't know. But I was pretty surprised by a couple things. Starting with, I actually liked the guy.
Yeah, because I think you were pretty critical of him back in the day when you were a sports columnist. I believe that was a big thing. Now you've learned about him. And I think one of the parts of this book is telling the story, and I think you told Scott Van Pelt this when you were talking to him. It's like how he has gone on this roller coaster of how the public feels about him and how you actually had a chance to chit-chat with him and how it changed your opinion on who he was. And you viewed him, I believe you said, as a human for the first time, long time, because he kind of let you in. I think the resurgence of Mike Tyson has been a cool kind of visit through transparency. You agree with that? Do you think Mike Tyson has just been more transparent about him? Why do you think there has been this revolutionary shift of respect and appreciation of what he's able to do in the boxing world, but also an understanding that he wasn't a perfect individual in his life? Why do you think that is happening at the moment?
There's a whole bunch of reasons. I'm hoping this book has the cheat code of why we're still addicted to Tyson. But part of it has to do is, he was groomed, and you know this, he was groomed as a face. He was groomed as a good guy. And then he had a heel turn in real life. But he played that role better than anyone in the history of combat sports, certainly boxing. And at certain times he did it with a wink. And the way that he's evolved and the way that he manipulated fear and the idea of him as the former scary guy, and now you see him, and my book begins in a place, I swear to God, I could never have imagined, with him watching his daughter play tennis in Orange County, like of all places, and this guy was doomed. But he plays that heel role now that he doesn't have to fight and he doesn't have to be a bully and he doesn't have to always shift his fear on you. He plays that with great style. I mean, there's always a kind of wink to it. And when you have bad guys and they have that wink, they get over, exponentially. People become absolutely fascinated by him. And I think that's in large measure what happened with Tyson. The other thing is that for someone like me, as you get older, you get your ass kicked a little bit. You admire a guy for what he can stand up against. Like the one thing that haters like me and Tyson's acolytes and Tyson himself never envisioned was that he would be here. I once asked him when he was 45, like, could you have imagined being here? He goes, no, I couldn't have imagined being alive. So I think you judge a guy by what he's passed through. In the case of Tyson, it's a neighborhood that was absolutely nuts. Like calling it a ghetto or calling it violent is completely insufficient. It was like growing up like in Mad Max. Addiction to booze, coke, the death of a child, incarceration, molestation, and boxing itself. Like the typical script in boxing is, the third act is the tragedy. Mike had tragedy during his fighting career, and then afterward, and now he's sitting there watching his kid play tennis. It's hard to not love that.
Yeah, and I got a chance to meet him at Times Square with the Ring magazine's
I saw that.
City of Wolves, and it's like as soon as Mike Tyson walks up, I'm like, oh shit. This is Mike Tyson. I think to your point, we're always going to be addicted to the Mike Tyson name and the Mike Tyson brand. And I'm happy as hell that The Baddest Man, the making of Mike Tyson, is available now. We appreciate you doing this for a legend in sport. Now, on that note, you've not only done it for Tyson, you've done it for many others. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Mark, some of your other books about Pistol Pete, Joe Namath, Tyson now, do you notice like similarities between the greats? All three of those guys are all at, the top tier of their respective sports. Do you notice like a similarity between some of them, whether it is, psychology or their training or how they are, post their football or basketball or boxing life?
Tyson was a breakthrough for me because it was the first book I did about a guy who wasn't from like Western PA. Mm-hmm. Like Mancini was from Youngstown, which I think still includes, was part of Western PA. Alex Whip.
Bourbon.
And Beaver Falls, his name. Something together. When you get that good, that you need to have a certain perfectionism about you. I think that's it. The other thing is ego. You need a huge ego to succeed, but I think whatever holds true for other sports is true in spades for boxing. Like you need an incredible set of balls to get in that ring. You're essentially naked, and there are three elements: it's you, it's the other guy, and there's the audience. And the audience is what changes it. And if you ever get up into a ring to spar, you look down and you go, "Oh shit, people are looking at me." And I think that what fighters fear is not the physical violence. It's not getting your ass kicked. It's humiliation.
Yeah.
And that changes the whole thing. I'm sorry, my camera's.
No, you nailed it. You got it. You found it. You found it again. That was good.
All right, here we
you
go.
actually slipped your way back right into that. Yeah. Sweet.
I was slipping a punch.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I think that's it. But it's the ego and the whole Tyson story, the whole story of boxing today. Writing about Tyson reinforced this thing for me in a way I didn't anticipate. The whole damn thing with any combat sport, and again, I think boxing most, is it is a symphony of ego. The promoters, the managers, the fighters, and in this case, in the case of Tyson, it's the trainer. And I think, Customato, the guy who got him out of lockup as a juvenile, as a 13-year-old, is often sainted. And he may well deserve it, but it was a little bit more complicated than like this beautiful fable of like the old white guy and the kid he gets out of jail. It was really, Customato had such a huge ego, and he instilled in Tyson, or inflamed in Tyson, this huge ego. What he was really asking him, for my money, is make me live forever. Now, Tyson pushes back on this with me, and he says, well, didn't I? In other words, yes, I made him immortal. As long as they know my name, they're going to know his. My question in the book is like, hey, what price was that, man?
Yeah, well, Tyson gave it all. He was fully committed to the game. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Mark, have you what are Tyson's views on some of his old press conferences? He's talking about eating people's children, all of those colorful pressers that he gave us that I thought was just a golden age in boxing, and I appreciate him for that. But how does he view that now?
I don't want to give you the idea like we're pen pals or we video chat every day. I asked him one great favor. I said, listen, I probably wrote more bad stuff about you than anybody. I'm just asking you, do me a solid and let me do my work. And typically people would call up and they would say, is it okay to speak to Creal? They call his wife. And she'd say, yeah, it's okay. And that's all I could ask. People know his story. So we had a couple of like Zoom conversations. It's very interesting. Those pressers are part of why he stays with us, and especially the eat your children stuff. What happened there, and we keep replaying it because, again, he's the greatest heel ever. And to me, that means as scary as he is, there's also something that makes you laugh. What in fact was going on with that was he had just knocked out a guy in a couple of seconds in Scotland. And he was hyping up a fight with Lennox Lewis, but he was in like the deepest state of grief because a famous stick-up kid he was locked up with in Brooklyn had died. So he spent the last part of his camp just grieving. He was inconsolable. And that's what no one gets from like the eat your children thing. He was half out of his mind with that. He was really beside himself with grief.
You're saying there's context basically to everything that kind of happens, and in this book, hopefully we're going to explain a little bit more of that. Let's move off of Baddest Man, the making of Mike Tyson, and let's talk about the current state of boxing. At 2:30 Eastern, Canelo, Crawford will have their first press conference, and obviously this is going to be the first big fight with Dana in Turkey and the Crown Prince, and obviously Nick a part of it all, and TKO kind of coming together. This is huge for boxing. This is good for boxing. What are your thoughts on like kind of the state of boxing at its moment and what the future could be with the new group kind of trying to run things?
It's huge for boxing. I think that boxing, at least in this country, does in fact need some salvation. It's a great fight because on paper, I mean, Crawford's older, he's smaller, and he's technically in economic terms, he's the B-side. So everything in boxing history says Crawford should lose. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that he's the savviest predator there is. I mean, he's giving up a huge amount of weight, but what has really cursed boxing, certainly in this country, are fights that you know the outcome to. If I know who's going to win, if the disparity between the A side and the B side is so damn big that I know who's going to win, or it's a huge upset, why am I going to tune in? And that's what's plagued this sport. Because you haven't seen Crawford lose, it's difficult to envision in your head him losing. And he's incredibly resourceful. He's very violent. And I think that he feels like he's been cheated out of his prime. He didn't get the recognition he needs. All that to me makes him dangerous. For Canelo, it's this pride. Has he been living in silk pajamas all these years? Is he gotten metaphorically fat? I don't know, but we're going to see.
All right. Well, Mark, we appreciate you stopping by. We'll continue to chat, hopefully, as the lead up for Canelo versus Crawford happens and everything taking place in boxing. Congrats on another great one, man. Congrats on another great one.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, fellas.
No problem, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Creal.
Yeah, boy.
I was a columnist. I had newspapers. Okay, I did a lot of writing.
Mm-hmm. I talk more shit on Tyson than anybody.
Yeah, I had to do. It's part of the job, part of the profession. Just do me a solid, man. Let me do my job, please. Let me do this entire thing, please. I know what I did. Mark was always very nice to me. He was very serious, though. Like a very serious lad. And none of us remember what that NFL AM show was like. I know I was there.
I did a couple days on there. I did a few.
In LA?
Yeah, went out there. I think I did like 3 days one week. Yeah.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird. I said, why isn't this filmed on the New York studio?
Well, because it's out here.
We get a lot of good guests. They said we get guests and stuff. Being in LA, I was like, you got guys coming at 4 a.m. coming here?
Yeah, we did. Look at us. We did go. I won a couple days. Sounds like you won a few days. Mark was there a few days. I remember that. Molly was part of that team. Molly Karam.
Oh.
She was a part of that there at the time. LeVar Arrington, I believe, was there. Rhett, it was early.
That's real early.
That's a different LA life you're living.
Yeah. Going to bed at 6 p.m. every night.
Yeah, see, I didn't do that.
Well, right.
You see, what I did was for every time.
That's kind of just stay up until 3 a.m.
Yeah, we're in Los Angeles. Good to catch up with everybody. Also, we're doing TV.
Yeah, following stuff all night here.
Here we go. All right. Have a great weekend. Game 7 of the NBA Finals on Sunday night. The Travelers is taking place. Scotty Scheffler tied for the lead. Should be an amazing weekend of sports. We can't wait to talk about it all on Monday. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. That's AJ Hawk from the boys in the back. Everybody out here, you're the greatest people on earth. Thank you for allowing us to do this for a living. We'll see you on Monday. Goodbye. Oh, baseball's happening as well this weekend.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
We covered it.
By the way, Scotty,
I love the rivalries. I love everybody hitting everybody. Old school baseball. This is good.
Bro, Otani's getting beamed? 100-mile-an-hour fastball? Is that his head? I
Yeah,
don't like that.
The fact that it's 100 mile, like you're firing gas at him, like throw like an 88-mile-an-hour one off his ribs.
That's not the point.
Why the fuck would they do that, AJ?
What? Why are you
I'm
guys
just
so
saying,
frustrated?
it's Otani.
I think it's only
think that the
cool.
Dodgers
because-
don't
Tatis
give
is
a
getting
fuck.
$300 million too, brother.
Yeah, I think it's only cool because it's 100.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I think the kneecap one hurt more, but I think it's only sweet because it's 100 in the back.
I don't know. I fucking 100 off the shoulder blade. I'm sure.
Did you see Ty's reenactment, AJ? He was nothing like
Yeah,
Joe.
could I see it one more time? I did see it once. I saw
Well,
it.
I'd almost need to see the video if I remember correctly. He takes it off the shoulder blade and then wears it. Yep, there it is.
The head. Oh, it's the head.
I couldn't even imagine.
The head to the sky.
I get it.
Because we've worn 80 and that hurts.
Yeah, very bad.
What, in high school or something?
Yeah.
It all hurts.
Ty told me that he's aiming at somebody's jaw.
If they're on the plate.
I mean, if you are standing on the plate, you can't get too upset if you get clipped.
That's business.
You played baseball, AJ? High school?
Yeah. Not in high school. I just played all growing up, did all the travel stuff, got burned out by the end of 8th grade.
Sounds like a Dan Orloski story. Were you up there on the plate whenever you're in the batter's box? Is that your plate?
Nah. Normal, stance. I wasn't crowding the plate. We didn't have big pads on our elbows and all that.
Bagwell.
It would have been cool to just go out there, fucking knee pad, hip pad,
Sure.
elbow pad, right over top of the bat, or right over top of the plate. People do that?
I mean,
They do now.
yeah, I guess I really haven't seen what kids in high school are wearing, but I'm sure they're pretty swagged up. But like, yeah, when we were in high school, no one was wearing elbow pads or any of that shit.
And they were lining up where in the batter's box?
I crowded the plate like a son of a bitch. You bet.
You're trying to get hit.
No, just let's shrink this strike zone down big time.
I would hit dudes all the time if I got down, if I'm pitching, and I've told you this before, if I get down 3-0 in the count, I'm hitting the dude on the 4th pitch because I know I'm not throwing 3 straight strikes to this guy.
Okay.
I didn't have that kind of control, so I had to.
This is just the law of averages here. I need to do as much damage as I can here. I'm not going to be able to throw 3 straight strikes.
This was 3-0, by the way.
Oh, okay. This is the 4th pitch. Good call, AJ. That's what this guy said. I'm not going to be able to get 3 strikes past this guy. Might as well just go ahead and send him on his way with a nice little "how you doing?" 100 miles an hour to the shoulder. Clayton Kershaw, 38 years old, 39 years old. He was halfway over the Hold on now.
Texas boy.
Hold on now, he said.
This is not going to surprise you because you know how he was back then. CFO Phil would stand basically on the plate and then just wouldn't even flinch. He got hit 100 times maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. He would probably get that shoulder
and just
right over top of the plate.
They called that kid out in Gage Woods no-hitter for leaning into it, though.
Should have hit that guy.
Yeah.
That's what I think. You just threw the third ever no in the history of the College World Series. What are your thoughts on that? Shouldn't have hit that guy. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Go have fun with your teammates. Good luck.
He was awesome. What a week it has been. Let's go around the horn here. Favorite thing that happened this week. We'll start with you, AP Tone.
I mean, it's very simple. It's very easy. It's the Pacers making it to Game 7.
Ty Schmidt, you.
Yankees. I mean, it's also the Pacers, but the Yankees snapped their 6-game losing streak.
Oh, yeah, they were the Pirates there for a bit.
They were for a week. They were the Pirates, and now they're the.
They were playing salty ball.
Sure. They were playing salty ball, but they've snapped that, and they are now going back to being the Kings of the AL East.
Boston Connor, favorite thing this week?
Mine was SpaceX blowing up because I've never seen anything like that before in my entire life, and I thought it was cool.
Those things have to happen, obviously, for us to get to the point where they don't blow up. Any tiny little mistake with that much gas.
Never seen that. I've only seen it in the movies.
Things are going to go. Here's the video that Connor is referring to because we have not showed it on this particular program, and it is over.
Oh, there's another one. Boom! That double boom.
How many astronauts?
That's 5 big boom.
Yeah.
No one died.
30.
No one died.
Nope.
It wouldn't be my favorite thing if someone died, man.
Obviously. good thing this week that happened at the euchre table yesterday. I think.
Yeah. I mean, that might be my favorite part too. D-Butts and Bone were euchre partners. Bill and Foxy and me and Pat. And me and Pat went 5-0, beat the fucking piss out of those four just over and over again. It actually started game one. Pat and I were down 9-6, which is kind of like what the Pacers were down 3-2. And then two hands back to back, down 9-6. We go euchre. Hold on.
9-8 all of a sudden.
That's a 2-pointer. And then we go clean sweep 5-0.
Oh, wait, 10-9 all of a sudden.
That's a 10-9 victory. And then that was just game one. And like I said, we played 5 total games. So we had 4 more wins after that. We beat Foxy and Bill.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
a long time.
We were downtown, with where we live. Whenever the Pacers have a game and we do our show live from the arena, it's like what is the last night? I think we had enough time. I could have made it home, made it back. Maybe should have done that. Instead, we just stayed downtown at this place called
Commission Row.
Commission Row is this restaurant down here in Indianapolis. I think it opened in January. I mean, man,
phenomenal.
It's awesome.
That whole area was cool. I haven't been down there in a while. Going to Cambridge and seeing the whole area, how it's developed around the arena is sweet.
Yeah, that restaurant that's right next to the arena there, Commission Row, that might be the nicest restaurant I've ever been in.
It's the nicest restaurant in Indy, hands down.
Might be the nicest restaurant I've ever gone in. And the food is good. It's not like you go to a nice place and it's terrible food.
Delicious.
It's like very, very good food. That place is brand new. They know they got to fight for, I don't want to say clientele.
Every inch.
Customers, because it's brand new, because there's a lot of restaurants downtown, obviously, like historic restaurants in downtown Indianapolis. Commission Row, that place is very nice. I mean, and they've been very good to us, obviously, but the location, the food, the service, the wait. There's a speakeasy down in the basement, I think.
Yeah, Mel's.
There's a speakeasy down there. Yeah, it's
They got a different menu for the speakeasy too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Indianapolis really done it here, really done it, and the Pacers obviously the straw that's stirring the drink in the city right now.
Yeah. That's right.
And you know what that drink is? Jovial.
It is.
You know what that drink is? Good time. You know what that drink is?
What's that?
It's down to its final sip. It's Game 7 on Sunday. Yeah. AJ, how do you feel Game 7 goes for the Indiana Pacers, Oklahoma City Thunder, to determine in 4 quarters, maybe overtime,
Maybe.
who are the NBA champions of the 2024-2025 season? At this moment, on Friday, 2:04 Eastern, the Thunder are 7.5-point favorites. That would be if the spread was 8, that'd be the largest spread in the history of NBA Game 7s since 1988.
Good year.
AJ?
Well, sitting here Friday, a couple of days before the game, Tyrese, how he looked, how he played, I feel much better about his calf and his leg, everything that's going on, his lower body situation he has. But the more I think about it, I just keep seeing Pacers 109, Thunder 101, and the Thunder Arena being heartbroken. That the Pacers come in there and find a way.
I like that. Tyrese will, and those Pacers boys will operate accurately in another arena if they were to win a title there. It has gone down to 6.5 now on ESPN. It's been moving back and forth, a little bit of dancing, 6.5, 7.5. Nonetheless, Tyrese Haliburton did look healthy last night.
Yes, he did.
Got to rest all fourth quarter. Got an opportunity here for a couple days now. Friday.
What?
Saturday.
What?
All of Sunday. 8 p.m. late start on a Sunday.
Yep.
So we move that to 6:30 on Sunday.
Just a thought.
It's when the Super Bowl's
Maybe
played.
7 o'clock on 8 o'clock. That's a late one on Sunday. West Coast, though, we want you to come enjoy.
Yeah, sure.
Come enjoy. 5 o'clock. That's actually a pretty good time.
Yeah, not bad.
5 o'clock, not a bad start. Anyways, 8 o'clock, ABC, Sunday. I agree with you, AJ. Indiana Pacers take it home. Let's go, boys.
Here we go.
Let's have one. I don't think I'm going to be. I don't know if they're releasing any tickets.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Definitely not. Keep that demand high.
I reached out and they said no.
You did?
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. That's my favorite thing of the week is that you reach out to Oklahoma City Thunder.
Nice.
AJ, what's your favorite thing of the week? Aaron Rodgers walking around on a beach all jacked up?
I mean, that's nice. I have a hard time not going with the Siakam dunk. The Tyrese steal, Siakam dunk. I'm sitting there watching live like, okay, this game, here we go. Let's go to game 7 already.
Yeah, that was a good moment. The place.
It's awesome. So awesome.
Steal. Give me that. In my pink Hallie ones. I had my Hallie golds on.
Reggie Miller right there.
Reggie Miller right in front row. He almost passes it to Tyrese.
Sparkly jacket.
Do it no look. Do it no look.
Look at that.
He said, you got it. No look. Oh, put him in a blender. Dort Williams. Obi Toppin in the back. All of Indiana goes insane. What a moment. What a moment.
What a moment.
Yeah. What a moment.
Oh, also, this week, for complete close second, JJ Spawn's putt.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
64 feet for immortality.
How's he doing at Travelers?
He was 3 over day 1.
It's understandable.
Yeah, he was doing a tour.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
He was doing a tour. Yeah, he did the Today Show. He did.
Yeah,
He got 4.6 last week. He's good.
Yeah, this one's worth 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5, 3.8.
$3.5 million to the winner.
Is JJ going to be on the Ryder Cup team?
As of right now, he is, yes.
Okay.
Those putters we've been told are on the way.
Okay.
Maybe I'm on a Ryder Cup team too.
Look out.
Never know.
Look out.
Keegan Bradley might be watching. He knows. He saw you coming out of the pocket. He's the coach. Captain.
We know that my issue isn't necessarily coming out of the pocket.
Sure.
I'll come out of the pocket. Now, do I know where the driver's going? Not really, but the deuce, I kind of got that one figured out. It's not going to be as far, but the 2-wood will put me in play. My iron's not terrible. If I'm in a bad lay, I'm in trouble because I don't have good ball contact. I'm meeting through that thing every single time. But when I get to the green, that's where the trouble really begins. For some reason, just can't knock it down. Haven't been able to find my putter. That's why JJ Spawn told me with the putter that he won with, when I start putting, all of a sudden, I'm Mr. One Putt.
Yeah.
That's what he said was going to happen.
Boom.
I seen him do it from 64 feet. There's the current U.S. team, Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, J.J. Spawn, DeChambeau, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa. I like to hear that. So the live guys are in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's automatically in, because he's qualified because Bryson won the major, right? But everyone else would have to be a captain's pick if they're a live dude.
You need to look out for Maverick McNeely.
Good locker room guy.
Good player.
Yeah, and Andrew Novak, once he gets yucking, that's when the boys
He can pick himself, too.
Good.
Yeah, and he probably will. I mean, Russell Henley certainly put up a good fight to make the team, and Ben Griffin, we know, obviously the Griffin family.
Novak.
Sure.
Yeah, Novak.
Yeah, well,
No Wyndham.
he's yucking it up, and then they don't call him hard man for no reason.
No, they don't.
No.
He is the hard man.
Yeah.
Old Brian.
Need a lefty.
Need a lefty on it. Takes
No,
his time.
respectfully to this list, we need none of those guys at the bottom to be on
It's
the team.
Couldn't agree more, Foxy.
What are you talking about?
No, I like the guys at the top. They're all big names, and they're all great golfers. Let's keep it that way.
Brooks will get added.
Think?
What about Wyndham?
That'd be fine.
I like the way Brooks is operating. He looks like he's having more fun than ever.
He does.
Because I learned on Super Swing he was not having a blast.
Yeah,
True.
remember?
What's this for?
There's only one thing it could be for.
What's this? What's this all about, AJ?
What do you mean? I think there's only one thing it can, like Ty said. This has got to be Pacers.
Yeah.
NBA championship ball.
Wow.
Imagine that. That's crazy. Here we are, Game 7 on the horizon.
It all comes down to this.
It does.
You got it. It's going in.
All right, so the Thunder are going to dominate the first quarter.
Okay.
Yep, here we go. Second quarter.
That's been happening.
Yeah, which is expected.
Let them have it.
Second
Okay,
quarter,
that-
so down
that's
by
a bit off line.
Down by
A
10
bit
at half.
off
Down by
line.
10
Down
at
by
half.
10 at half.
Just like game one.
Yeah, uphill battle.
And then Tricky Ricky saying this second half, it's ours, boys.
Yeah.
It's Bob
Yep.
Wood. And now the
All
fourth
right,
quarter.
third spot.
How flat that ball
That
is.
ball's flat. That doesn't count.
All
Tie
these
game.
balls are so flat. This is the best ball.
Yeah,
Fourth
it
quarter.
counts.
It all comes down to this.
You got it.
Yep.
Opponent-
I said right before I started.
This is a world championship.
Yes, it is.
You need an international ball.
Oh, no.
See, a lot of people,
Get it?
a lot of people say since you're shooting for the Thunder that you're missing on purpose.
Yep.
Paddle.
Barrel.
Pull him. Tell Mitt to come pull you. Pull him, Mitt.
Come on, Mitt.
No, pull the surfboard.
Don't touch the lava, Mitt.
From the board.
Oh, yeah, from the board.
You're riding the storm of the
Holly.
thunder.
Do a Holly.
Thank God Steve sent that.
No kidding.
For the pace.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck! All right.
I mean, if you want.
It is on YouTube TV.
It's presented by. Forgot about that. I'll tell you what. YouTube TV makes it easier to be a fan.
Yeah, they do.
You can watch all the sports and live TV in one app. Right now, you go ahead and scan this QR code. 2 months, $59.99 a YouTube TV. You can get the Quad Box Experience, $59.99. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Shout out to YouTube TV. Shout out to this Universe Ball, too. Here. Come on, you son of a fuck. Uh-oh.
Is ball heavy or something?
You got rocks inside that thing?
Ball was covered with paint. Yeah, of course. It ain't going to fly.
I thought it was going in.
There's lacquer all over that thing.
So much goddamn lacquer on that thing, yeah.
Just start throwing.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team, I don't love that going into a week. Let's have a great weekend.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's have a good weekend. That doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean shit.
That means fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Missed him yesterday.
Tell you what, I'll eat one here. Those balls were see if I was going to have a good weekend or not.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tone. Tone's going to have a terrible weekend for the good of all of us.
That's right.
Fine.
For he loved us so much, he gave us his terrible weekend so we could have a good one.
Joseph 314.
Thank you, Tone. Tone 317.
What?
Hell yeah.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice about change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. We'll see you on Monday. Team on three. 1, 2, 3. Team.
Team.
Goodbye.